award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
First thing I want to do today, as we have John Adams in here, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. The first thing I want to do today, and I mean the first thing I want to do today, before we talk about anything that happened last night or is happening today, is do this. Look, college football remains an incredible sport. The 2025 season, though it wasn't the greatest here, was an awesome, awesome season. The playoff was terrific. It absolutely delivered last night. I'm sure you were on the phone with your buddies. I was on the phone with C. He called me and was like, you know, this thing is, look at the end of this game. I mean, look at this scene. Hey, for those that get it, they get it. For those that don't get it, they're never going to get it. And it's all good, you know? Whatever. You like what you like. I'm going to like what I'm going to like. I'm going to tell you something. College football, they can have the most idiotic seasons, the most idiotic politics involved in it. All this player free agency, crazy nonsense, madness, all that stuff. But when you get right down to it, and you put these guys on a field, and you play it out, and you play it off, and you see what you saw last night, you tell me that isn't the greatest thing you've ever seen. You tell me that isn't a wonderful sport. And last night, all-time great. All-time great. And then for Indiana, for us to grapple today throughout the entire country with what that means, with the ramifications. We got a 2-camera shot up there. Sweetie, you want to get John up? We got to get John in the mix. John Adams in the studio today. 2-camera shot with John today. He's presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. What an exciting time. Indiana lands a national title and the Vols simultaneously, as they're bagging a natty, bag Indiana strength and conditioning coach. That was an incredible season. That was an awesome, awesome, awesome year. John, in all your born days, you ever see anything like that, what we saw this season from Indiana, start to finish?
Well, it's one of the greatest college football stories of all time.
It's like Hoosiers on the field is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Indiana fans. It was the whole thing. It was the coach, the quarterback, the program, the fan base.
Yep.
They go down to another team's home field in a national championship game and take over the place.
Yes.
And it was, gosh, I was thinking watching that in that fourth quarter, it was like when Frank Signetti eschewed the field goal and goes for the touchdown, followed by, with Fernando Mendoza. He's already got a Heisman in his pocket, and he goes. It reminded me of John Elway in the Super Bowl, just launching himself, turning his body into two tacklers, and it was Tim Tebow all over again.
It was unbelievable.
Tim Tebow when they beat Oklahoma for the national championship.
Unbelievable.
In the 2008 season. And then I'm thinking, that fourth quarter, it was like, it was so much like Signetti as the coach, Mendoza as the quarterback. It was Belichick and Brady just taking over in the clutch in the biggest moments.
What's incredible to me is most head coaches rush up there with 9 seconds left and want to save that timeout. And Signetti's over there going, timeout. I'm using my second timeout. I'm coaching this game. I'm going to affect the outcome of this game now. And that's most guys, including our guy here, do not do that. This guy goes like this. So I right up to the ref. I'm in charge here. Timeout. And now we're going to get the right play. I don't care if they get to set their defense. We're going to get the right play, and we're going to get the first down. And that completely separates him from most of the guys that have a headset in college football. Most of those guys, if we're honest about it, including our guy here, do not stop the clock there, do not have the balls to put the blue chips right on the table and say, I'm pushing them right in the middle of the table at this point in time. That is a crazy, crazy, crazy turn of events there for him to do that. Most guys in that sport do not do that.
Because I think most guys are thinking about the possibility of being second guessed.
Yep.
Oh, he burned that timeout. Now we're in the last minute of the game. They're trying to come back, and they don't have that timeout. He didn't think that way.
Yep.
He made the right move. He coaches authoritatively. He's in charge. He'll do what he doesn't care what people say. And I thought it was interesting afterward. He talked about the reason he wanted to do that. He had a play dialed up.
Yeah.
That Mendoza quarterback draw. Boy, Tennessee fans can relate to a quarterback draw, can't they?
Hey, Bri, your thoughts on what we witnessed, because that was an incredible – I love the sport. I'm just going to say it out loud. They can screw with it. They can mess with it. They can create a total mess. It can end up in the courts. The Supreme Court can completely alter it. That was a wonderful sporting event last night. Just a wonderful sporting event.
Kudos to Miami. That should be mentioned.
Amen, Bri.
Kudos to them. Indiana actually didn't look like the machine that they looked like in previous games.
Totally agree.
They looked almost human. They made some penalties. I think they had a holding that made it 1st and 20.
Yep.
They had a false start.
Yep.
Miami disrupted them enough to keep that thing close.
A huge
but
false
Indiana
start.
Indiana made all the plays when they needed to. All the clutch plays. The kid from Nashville made those two big clutch plays to get first downs. And I think these playoffs were much better than last year's. I think the NFL playoffs were much better than last year. So the football this weekend, this month, has just been fantastic on both levels.
It really has. I mean,
it has been,
January. You don't think of January's for football. It's a fall sport.
He's so right.
It's football is on January.
He's so right. The playoffs, the NFL playoffs and the college play, you lay them right on top of the other. Man, the other sports, and look, I'm a huge hockey fan. I had the Flyers game on and out in Vegas last night. Well, I was sweating that thing like it was the 7th game of the World Series because we'd lost 5 in a row. We just needed to get back on the good foot, and we upset them last night. But let me tell you something. This college football game, okay, John, they can do – it reminds me of Major League Baseball. You can screw with it. You can have your player strikes. You can do whatever you want to do. Baseball's still a wonderful game. It's a game of thought. It's a game of nuance. It's a game played by highly skilled men. There's only a few in the world that can do it, at the level these guys are doing it. And that thing last night, John, was phenomenal. Brian's right. Miami's defense, those defensive linemen, those guys like Curry and Copeland run around in 93 out there. That's what the way they affected that game. Mendoza hasn't been hit like that all year. And then in the moment, Miami's getting ready to drive down the field because you knew when they had that fall. And that's the best lineman in America committing that top 10 pick in the draft, committing that false start penalty in that spot. And you're thinking, oh, my God, Indiana is getting ready to give this thing back. I mean, I get chills thinking about that game. Miami is getting ready to go down the field and score here. They're getting ready. You saw everybody in that stadium knew what was going to happen. But the kid just threw a bad ball, man. He just threw at the worst time. At the worst time.
Well, that was that's kind of been Carson Beck's track record.
Yep.
I don't want to denigrate him because he played well.
He's great last night.
He played well in the playoffs. He played more under control, and they were having to force things. One of the things, and I rarely notice this, it is so hard to notice an offensive lineman in a football game.
Yes.
It just really is.
Yes.
But Indiana center, the transfer from Notre Dame, what's his name? Kutas, Kutas?
Yes.
Number 62. I
Yes.
know his number. I sound like a player.
Yeah.
They don't know guys' names, but number 62.
Right.
That guy was knocking people all over the field, and he's going against preeminent defensive linemen. And he was on some of those plays, they were running, their best running plays were right over center. And he was just sealing that space off, and their backs were running through there. So it was really well played on both sides. One thing I had a problem with, though, the first half, and again, Stignetti just says what he thinks. Halftime interview, totally inane almost all the time, and he comes out there, well, there were 3 personal foul penalties.
He was right.
He was exactly right.
They were taking liberties on his quarterback.
They were trying to take out his quarterback.
That's absolutely what they were doing. And 2 of them were total cheap shots.
What happened? I mean, the officials just had sunbladders. It's like they're saying, well, we don't want to do that in a championship game.
And then they're
what
calling
are you
it in the last
talking
drive.
about?
They're calling it in the last drive, though.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, too, about him, I know he's not everybody's speed. I wish my coach would look into a camera. And I'm not trying to pick on my coach, okay? Any coach, and be as honest as him. He actually stops and pauses with the gal when they're walking off the field, because usually it's these women, you know. And he looks right at her and he says, and she's kind of, they get surprised because they're used to walking along with the guy because he's got to act like he's the king of England, you know. He's got to get in there and we got a battle plan, and he's like, look, you know, he takes his gum out of his mouth, which is kind of funny, sort of an endearing thing if you watch him, and he goes, you know, I don't understand why they're not calling personal fouls. I mean, they hit our quarterback 3 times. Not once, not twice, 3 times.
And they never called
never called one.
And another thing.
I love that guy, man.
Pass interference. There was Miami was
John,
interfering.
they were letting him grab all over the place.
I know, and I just...
Which I don't mind. In the playoffs, let everybody play. But you can't let it happen to the point where...
you can't. You go back to the Miami...
It restricts everything.
You go back to the Miami-Ole Miss game.
Yes.
The Miami defender held the Ole Miss receiver for 10 yards by his jersey.
Hey, Frankfurter says the following. I'm breaking in for Frankfurter. Freaking Hoosier Mark Cuban's giving them money tone. Hey, Frankfurter, we spent more money than them this year in college football. Let that sink in, buddy.
And you got their strength coach.
And we got their strength coach, Frankfurter, so relax.
Wow.
Mark Cuban, a Frankfurter. We spent more money in the transfer portal or in the overall roster than Indiana this year. So if you want to beat on Mark Cuban all you want. Those guys know what they're doing. And they get a lot of credit. And the Mendoza guy is a hell of a player. And seeing his mom up there with the family.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, the whole thing is just... John, you're a writer. I've got kind of an artistic mind. You couldn't script something. If you sat down to write a screenplay, literally the losingest team in the history of the deal, the Indiana's one of them. I mean, you talk about a bottom-of-the-table team perennially. Be like the Tennessee Titans winning a Super Bowl.
Right,
Brian?
It's even bigger because the Titans almost won a Super Bowl.
Right, Brian?
Well, yeah, but think about it too. With the, I always thought that the best turnaround, the best rebuilding job, the best coaching job from a standpoint of taking a program in a low ebb and making it a strong program was Bill Snyder at Kansas State. That was historically just an awful program.
No question.
And they were playing in a really tough conference at that time, for much of that time in the Big 8 when Nebraska was just kicking butt and Oklahoma was rolling, even Colorado was good. But you look what Cignetti did. It wasn't rebuilding, it was flipping a switch. He just turned it around. And so what this does, we already knew there's no such things as rebuilding anymore. You just allocate your resources. You do flip a switch. You go to that portal and you hit the portal as hard as you can, and you turn things around, and you can do it very quickly. But the way Cignetti did this and the way everything worked, you guys pointed out that this wasn't a typical Indiana game because Indiana was the closest thing to perfect in those two wins we saw against Alabama and Oregon. Those are good teams, and they made them look inept. And yet, so there's no way you can go through every game. They're all going to be that way. And there were a couple of drop passes. I didn't see an Indiana player drop a pass.
Oh, the kid from Nashville. The kid from Nashville made three incredible. Let's bring Brian Howell in here. He loves the sport as well. Hey, Brian, as I bring you in, we want to get you on to talk about the addition that Tennessee's made, the quarterback, and download that. But we all enjoy the sport. You've written several books. Look, a screenwriter couldn't have written anything better than what Indiana just put together, right? As I welcome Brian Howell in, he covers the Colorado Buffaloes. He's a beat writer for Buff Zone, which I've been featured on Buff Zone but that's another kind of buff, and Boulder Daily Camera as well. Brian Howell, welcome in. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We're just effusing here about what we saw last night. What a great sport, a great sporting event. Great way to end the season and just kind of celebrating college football. Your thoughts on what we witnessed?
Yeah, first off, I mean, obviously one of the big news in college football is the transfer portal and all the changes and all that stuff. I always tell people, I'm like, at the end of the day, Saturdays are still going to be awesome. And in this case, a Monday night. But, the game itself is still awesome, and I think one of the best sports, if not the best sport. And we saw that last night. And, hats off to Indiana. I mean, that's one of those programs that just a couple years ago, you would have put them among many others where you said they're never going to win a national championship. You would just throw Indiana in there. And I think back to the start of 2024, they're picked last in the Big Ten. Yep. And what have they lost twice since then? It's remarkable. I don't know what we've seen over the last 2 years with Indiana, but it's pretty remarkable.
And Brian, again, you're a guy that's, written books and the whole deal and follow a team out there that was a cause celeb, for a hot minute, as the kids like to say. Somehow Indiana flipped the script and figured out a way to Make it stick. Make it real. Deion had that thing where they were hot for a minute. And look, Deion totally flipped the roster in Colorado. It was crazy. You had all those celebrities on the sidelines. And how dizzying was that for you? Because this whole era is so new to all of us. And really, he's the first guy to do it, to say, look, I'm just going to take a completely different roster here and we're going to go out in year one and, win some games. How crazy was that to get an up-close look at that?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, we went in just a very short time from having probably the most irrelevant program in the country in 2022 to, all of a sudden the most talked about program in the country. And it was a wild ride. It was super fun. And, to go from 2022, I mean, they were 1-11 and not as good as their record is what I always tell people, because the one win they had was kind of a lucky overtime win. And then you go 2 years later, 2024, they're 9-4. They get the Heisman Trophy winner, and all over national TV. It was a wild ride. Then last year, obviously, was just kind of that drop back to reality for Colorado.
That's going to happen, And look, people thought Deion would leave when his kids did, and he didn't. People thought he would leave because his health. He's got serious health issues, and he does, but he continues to fight on. Which you have to commend him for that, because he continues to soldier on. Tell me about this Staub kid that Tennessee tried so hard to lure the kid from Arizona State. They got involved late with the kid from Cincinnati who had an interest in Tennessee, but they got involved late with him for whatever reason. They're just slow on the draw here. I can't explain that in the portal, but so they end up at Staub, who's got a relatively low rating. I mean, whatever that means in this era. Again, Indiana changes the way I think about any of these ratings. But he's like 112 in the ratings poll. Were you surprised when you saw Tennessee involved with Staub?
Yeah, actually, I mean, even before he committed to Tennessee, I mean, all of his visits were, Power 4 schools, and I was surprised by that. I mean, I thought, for him to leave Colorado, I know he loves CU. I mean, to the point that he stopped by and said goodbye to Coach Prime yesterday and visited him. And Coach Prime posted a picture of the two of them as Staub was saying goodbye. So they still like each other, and there's still, good feelings there. For Staub to leave, I thought, all right, he's going to go somewhere where he can start. I don't think this is a place he can start. I thought he would land at a G6 school or FCS school where he could go out and be the starter. I just don't see him as a P4 starter. He's a great kid. Obviously, I wish him the best. I don't see him as a P4 starter, so I was surprised. I was surprised he was going to Tennessee, to where I think he'll probably be a backup again.
So he's a stopgap for the Vols, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play that well this year. He got his chances, and he had one nice moment against Delaware, and that earned him one start, and he wasn't very good after that. To me, he's not a P4 starting player.
Could they unlock him? Does he have a big arm? Because if you want to play in Heupel's offense, really got to be able to do two things. You got to be able to hit a long pass, and you got to be able to run around a little bit. Can he do those two things?
Yeah, he can do those two things. He's got a nice arm. And he's a smart kid. A couple of his touchdown passes, especially in the Delaware game, where he would recognize something in the coverage. He had a big, tall receiver, as a wideout, and he would recognize something in the coverage and switched up the route, and he throws a touchdown pass. He's smart. He's got the big arm. He can run a little bit. He actually had a touchdown run against Houston, that he looked pretty good on. So he can do those two things. Can he do it consistently? We haven't seen that from him.
So you're colored surprised by this turn of events here?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't think that he would leave here and go to another P4 school.
What I find really curious about it is, and again, nobody knows exactly, because nobody knows anything but really about the portal. How many teams, even people that like us that try to dig into this stuff, when you get from prospect A and then you get down to prospect D, how many were there in between? There could be 50 guys in between, But Tennessee somehow went from Sam Levitt and a high flirtation in the middle of the night on a tarmac in Knoxville when Lane Kiffin was there. It's like torn between two lovers, Mary McGregor and whatnot back in the day, to all of a sudden, you're at Prospect 112. It's like you almost had a date with the prom queen, right? And now you're asking like an 8th grader to the prom, and you're a senior. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and he might be a kid that maybe he just needs to get with a coach that he meshes with better.
Yeah.
He's never one that, he always had high praise for the coaches he had here. But, look, he was here 3 years, and, he had a couple different coaches. And, but he was third string on a 3-9 football team this year. So take that for what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty revealing.
I mean, it's odd. I mean, it's odd to sign him as a third-team quarterback, isn't it, in light of what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, like I said, I thought that when I saw him go in the portal, first off, we were all surprised he didn't go in the portal after his freshman year. He was the top backup for Shedeur Sanders in 2023. So we were surprised he kind of stuck around for 24. And then he never really played. I think he threw one pass in 24. I thought, all right, he's going to the portal now, but he didn't. Even when they signed Caden Salter, and then even when they signed Julian Lewis.
Yep.
So it was clear he was going to drop from second to third, in that situation this last year, and he still stayed. And so when he went in the portal this last time, I was like, well, okay. I guess he finally wants that starting job. And then to land at Tennessee, and his visits were, I think he visited LSU and a couple other places, and I was just surprised by his visit list. I mean, more power to him. Like I said, he's a fantastic kid, and I wish him absolute best. And he's a leader type, all that. And maybe a fresh start is good for him, and he'll surprise me. But it was very surprising to me that he would land at Tennessee.
Brian, do you think he wants to be head coach one day?
Possibly. We didn't talk to him a ton, just being the backup, and we don't get access to a lot of players anyway. But I'm not sure his aspirations there. But if he does, then that's a fantastic move for him, and maybe he's content with being that third string guy, and where he can learn a lot from Josh Heupel and learn a lot from a different set of coaches.
Brian Howell, he's with Buff Zone, also Boulder Daily. Noted sports author as well. We're talking about Tennessee's edition of Staub, but also there's mixing and mingling among these programs. Tennessee had Colton Hood off that roster last year, who really had a really nice season for the Vols. Did you see that as somebody that covered that program, that Colton Hood would come into the SEC and become an impact player like he did?
Yeah, he was one that everybody was really sad about losing, or mad about losing. The fan base was mad about losing him last year. And the story was that his brother Brandon was a running back for the Buffs as well. And the story was that in their roster purge last year, they told Brandon they didn't really have a spot for him, and so Colton got mad and left. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's exactly how it went down, but that's the story I've always heard. And we thought for sure that's a first-round cornerback. And so when he left, that was kind of devastating for the Buffs, because he left at the end of spring. He was here throughout the spring, and then he jumps in the portal. And so, we saw that. He played really well in 2024 as that number 3 corner, where he would come in and play a little bit. Travis Hunter got banged up a little bit in 24 and would not play defense in a couple of games. And Colton came in and played really well. And so, I saw him as a potential first-round guy before he left here. And so I'm not surprised by the season he had.
I'm kind of hoping that for the second year in a row, we can take a third-teamer off Colorado's team, a third wheel, so to speak, and turn him into a star player, this time at quarterback, John.
That would be the epic turnaround.
One other item, actually 2. Arian Carter. I'm sorry, Boo Carter. I'm mixing my Carters here. I'm mixing and matching my Carters. Boo Carter ends up there. What is your take on Boo Carter, who we find to be a semi-serious person in these parts after his conduct around here last couple of years?
Yeah, reading about him and his time at Tennessee, there's obviously some red flags, but the Buffs were kind of desperate for talent, and he's got talent. I don't think there's any question about that. And that could be another situation where maybe he just needs a different situation and needs to be around different coaches, and maybe Coach Prime is one that can straighten him up a little bit. But the Buffs were desperate for talent. I mean, they literally, after the transfer portal purge and when everybody left, they had 5 scholarship guys from their entire defense left on the roster before they started adding people. So, they needed talent. They collected it as much as they could. And, they added 43 guys in about 16 days, and he's one of them. And to me, he's a potential starter and, potential star on this defense if he can keep himself, following the rules and things like that.
John, are you taking the under or the over on that kid becoming a star in Colorado? Maybe Deion reaching him? Or will Deion grow disenchanted with a kid that literally will disappear a week at a time for no apparent reason?
Yeah, I just don't see that happening because he had chances and second chances at Tennessee. Tennessee really wanted to keep him, really went out of its way, probably too much, in trying to keep him. And you think maybe Deion Sanders, he's got some skills in that area. And Deion has so much credibility because he was a superstar as an athlete and certainly as a cornerback. So maybe if anybody could reach him, Deion could.
Yep.
But I just think I could see him doing really well for a while and then lapsing or relapsing.
Yeah, you wait, Brian, till you get a load of this guy. He is, down through the years, you see these people. They're just, to play that sport, to play any of these sports, you've got to be, the first thing you've got to be is dedicated or available or online or whatever you want to have. And he just reminds me of one of those guys who's going to end up in a scrapbook one day of all those people that we saw down through the years just kind of get God-given ability and decide not to use it. What about the Seton guy? Brian, were you surprised that he jumped into the portal? Because that's a guy that Tennessee, I thought they had there for a second, and then Deion ended up getting him. Why didn't it work out for him at Colorado?
Well, I think for the most part it did. I mean, he played really well for the first, for the 2 years he was here.
Good point.
I wasn't surprised he went in the portal. The surprise to me was that he waited so long to jump in. I think most of us thought with this season, when it was going off the rails, went down to 3-9, he's one of those guys we thought, he's not going to be here. And so the fact that, it was, I think, 12 days into the open portal window that he finally jumps in, I think he gave CU fans a lot of hope that, okay, he's staying. He's committed to this team, and then he jumps in. I think, to me, what happened is that it worked out. It's just that I think Seton's going to make a lot of money that Colorado can't afford. And so, to me, he's just a classic case, in my opinion, of the guy that the agent worked some back channels, figured out what his value was, and told him, you better get in the portal if you want to make more money than what you're making in Boulder.
Where's he going?
Well, he's got a long visit. He's had a long visit the last couple of days at LSU, and we know they got deep pockets. So,
and they need offensive line help badly. So he's kind of got them over a barrel.
Yeah, and so when he jumped in the portal, I knew instantly. I'm like, he's going to land with a blue blood with a lot of money, and that's where he's probably going to go. I think he went and visited Texas. There was rumor that he was going to be going to Oregon, but he was still at LSU apparently last night. So I think it's going to be somewhere like an LSU or an Oregon, maybe Texas. He took a visit to Mississippi State, but that doesn't fit with the others. So I would guess he lands in LSU.
If folks want to read your work or reach out to you, how do they do so? And Brian Howell, I really appreciate your time today.
You bet. I'm at Brian Howell 33 on X or buffzone.com.
And on the way out, just as a takeaway here, when you think about the Staub kid and you think about the Vols, the thought is he is a backup here, and that's what he's going to be, right?
Yeah, that's my thought. And again, hope I'm wrong because he's such a good kid. I think there is some raw talent there that maybe Tennessee finds something different that Colorado didn't, and that's the hope. We've seen it before. We've seen guys that have been backups somewhere and get that chance, and it clicks for him. And so I hope he's one of those kids.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, great talking to you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great New Year in 2026 to you as well. I love those people out in Colorado. Those are salt-of-the-earth folks. John, he says there's a kid that was a third-teamer on a 3-9 team. He just doesn't see him helping an SEC team. But, look, here's the thing we do. We dig deep. Can you throw the deep ball? And can you run with the football? He says, yeah, he does those two things very well. And when LSU's interested in you as well, that got my antenna up, because Lane Kiffin knows players. Lane Kiffin at Tennessee were involved with the same people. That Elon quarterback, the guy at Arizona State, if you look at it, they're involved with the same. My antenna goes like this. You can tell me, what he didn't do. But we've seen this guy unlock broken quarterbacks before. We saw him unlock Hendon Hooker. People think I'm kidding. I'm being 100% serious here.
Well, I think with Lane Kiffin, too, he you look what he did at Tennessee in that 1 year. He turned Jonathan Crompton's career around.
Yeah.
He made him into a competent SEC quarterback.
Yeah.
I think what he was trying to do there, though, I think he wanted a backup.
Heupel.
No, I think Lane Kiffin wanted a backup, too. Yeah. And so maybe Heupel sees the same value in Staub. But you do need a backup. But this doesn't – you just can't get past the obvious here. Tennessee screwed up terribly in its pursuit of a quarterback. There's just no way around that.
How you go from 2 to 121 or 112 or whatever the guy's number is.
But the thing is that Tennessee has the money. A lot of schools don't have the money. They can't afford some of these guys, but Tennessee could have.
Speaking to that, we're going to speak to this, and then we'll get some calls in. We're going to do this on the other side because we're over. But here's the deal. Tennessee goes immediately out and flexes on the college football world, and this is a flex. Derek Owings is a flex. He's the strength and conditioning coach, the new one at the University of Tennessee. They hire him immediately after. It was the worst kept secret in college football. Owings had a connection with Josh Heupel dating back to UCF, Heupel's first year there. It was the worst kept secret in college football that he was coming. Miami wins the national championship. They're not even off the podium, and the guy's hired. That is a total flex by the University of Tennessee on the defending national champion. A total flex job by Josh Heupel, if you ask me. We come back on the other side. Now, Nega Dave will be in the chat, over there on YouTube, at Tony Basilio on our YouTube channel. He'll be over there, no, Tony, wasn't a flex. Yes, it is, Dave. Yes, it is, Dave. And I want Adam's thoughts, and I want to get the living listener in here. John Adams, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. She of Keller Williams, laying it down day after day after day. It reappears. More after this.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. So, Brian Howley, we just had on, is so passionate about what he does. I like that guy, Brian. We ought to remember him, and then we'll go back to the phones. So, Tennessee also got Isaiah Harge out of the portal, and he says, and I quote, he's an interesting one. I was also surprised to see him land there because he really hasn't done much during his time at Colorado. I thought he might be a G6 guy too, but he's got a lot of talent. He spent 3 years here, and he always practiced at corner and receiver because they seemed to think they could turn him into another Travis Hunter type. He also played running back in the spring game here. That's how versatile he is. I think Tennessee puts him at one spot and leaves him there. He could be a nice addition for them. Not sure if he's either better at wide receiver or corner, but he could be an asset if he focuses on just one side of the ball. Like Staub, he's another Coach Prime favorite. I was surprised he transferred because of that, but he wants to play more, I'm sure, and he couldn't beat out the other receivers on this roster. Finally got a shot at cornerback late in the year because of injuries and looked solid. I guess he plays corner at Tennessee. Is that what it sounds like to you, John? That he probably found this position and said, I'm going to follow the Hood kid.
Colton Hood, yeah. Maybe so. I mean, that's where Tennessee doesn't utilize much depth at wide receiver, so you figure your playing time, you'd have a better chance at DB.
Yep. 865-200-5402. Brian, is that a fair assessment on Harge that maybe helps Tennessee in their secondary?
Yeah, I think so. I think the comparison to Travis Hunter, trying to get him to maybe, I don't know if they compared him, but just sort of be that type of player is intriguing. And so, of course, we all know why I'm intrigued with Travis Hunter.
Somebody says maybe he's brought in as a special teams guy. You know, when you think about special teams in college football, what are they anymore? And then last night you watch that national championship game and you go, the whole game swung on a block punt for a touchdown. A zero-star player from James Madison, who follows his head coach here. Again, I'm back to the Disney movie thing. Blocks a punt.
That really was the only glaring mistake either team made until the last pick. And 87 for Miami kind of threw a lookout block.
Sure did. Missed a
on
block.
that play that led to the touchdown for Indiana. And I think that was probably the difference of the game.
Sure did, Brian.
Momentum was really with Miami when that happened.
Yep. Michael Stanton says, Heupel has really surprised me the last few weeks. And, John, I want your thoughts on this. Say what you want. I know he has his flaws, but he's shown he's committed to winning big here and seeking out help to do so. The defensive coordinator hire and now going and getting the strength and conditioning coach from Indiana are two great things. Heupel really frustrates me being on the back foot when it comes to the transfer portal, but those two things do ring loudly. I agree with that. I don't understand the quarterback thing at all, but in totality, you have to say that these are two impressive hires they've made.
Well, I know strength coaches to me, I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference from one strength coach to another. They're all following the same, pretty much the same philosophy. I mean, basically a strength coach to me is somebody that screams, give me one more.
But you know what, John? I go and I get a guy that's at the very pinnacle. Georgia went and got Scott Cochran off Saban's staff.
Yeah, it did.
Tommy Moffitt's been turned down multiple jobs since he's been at LSU, and he's been down there several years.
Well,
the point is the really good ones make a difference. I mean, you could say that any coach blows into a whistle and says, give me one more. By that
I'd
perspective,
take anything off that Indiana staff.
That's exactly right, Brian.
Well,
anything I could get.
Anything I could get. I would take a trainer. I would take their ball boy at this point. And they got the strength and conditioning coach, John, a total flex on college football, John. A total flex. A shot heard around the world with reverberations everywhere. From Happy Valley to Death Valley
would you rather
to Sunset Beach, Hawaii.
Would you rather have the strength coach from Indiana or the football coach from Indiana?
Come on. That's, everybody wants the football coach. Let's go to the phones and get our first call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? You know who's
Congratulations. What's the thing he screams? What's the thing that he screams into the microphone at you guys?
It's one of our chants, Hoosiers, which admittedly is kind of lame.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it the way he does it.
Yeah.
I want to say I was very glad to see that the Polly Joe monkey suit curse ended last night, because I believe the last time Polly Joe watched Indiana play football, we lost to Notre Dame. So I was very glad to see that streak in last night.
But technically speaking, Polly Joe actually got in. Yeah,
I'm being silly.
The last time he was laying on a stretcher, and John and Matt did a comedic riff.
Great line.
A comedic riff on that. Yeah.
Now that frivolity is out of the way, you guys have talked it to death. I'm not going to be able to add any more. You've said it perfectly in the blog. I would take the route that Miami has chosen to take. I think that's what Tennessee should do, because, frankly, I think Heupel needs a little more help than Cignetti does. But there are three things
2 routes,
that Heupel could do moving forward.
What are they?
Instantly. Number one, you've already said it. If someone's taking liberties with your team, or you think the refs are not giving you a fair shake, say something. Not that hard. What Cignetti did at the half. What, are they going to find you? You make $10 million. What, are they going to beat you up? Say something.
Well, he was working the officials, too, during that first half.
Yes, he was.
I mean, Heupel could do that starting tomorrow. He could. It's not that part of Cignetti's not that hard. Number two, the culture of accountability. You guys said it. Everyone makes mistakes. It's not that Tennessee makes frustrating penalties. It's that they do it a lot. Tennessee does it a lot. That offensive lineman, in his post-game interview, he said, hey, before we do anything, I really made a huge error. So glad the defense saved it. And then he went on to, I'm so happy and all that. Tennessee could do that culture of, hey, you're going to make mistakes, but accountability. And then the third is get back to being super aggressive like Heupel in 22. Maybe he couldn't do, that fourth down call was all time, twice. But Heupel used to coach kind of like that. Music City Bowl Heupel, man, no one goes for that on fourth down. Heupel did it. No one goes for it like Sig did twice. Heupel used to kind of do that stuff. Let's get back to that. He could change that tomorrow. What do you guys think?
I think those are three. I don't know how you coach the penalties out of your program, but they've got to figure out a way of doing that. That defense we had last year was all-time stupid. When you would get around the sidelines, and you would just take liberties on guys. I mean, throw guys out of bounds for no reason. Last night, Indiana, when they got around the sidelines, you watch them. They put their hands up. They're coached to do that. I'm getting away from you. I'm going to hit you, but I'm going to get away from you. And Miami last night, if there was a difference in the game, Miami took some crucial penalties at crucial times because they play more on the edge. Indiana somehow has a way of coaching that out of their guys. I don't know how you do that, but that's what they've done.
You make a good point because Indiana plays with an edge.
Yes.
But they know where that edge is, and they don't go over it. They made some mistakes last night, admittedly, and I think mistakes are going to crop up in a game of that magnitude.
Yep.
You can't achieve perfection, but he makes a really good point about accountability. Don't hide from it. Say, yeah, I screwed up. I shouldn't have done that. I won't do it again, and move on. But don't just gloss over it. You cost your team there.
Look. Oh, go ahead, John.
No,
Sorry.
no, you do.
Yeah. Look, some people can say, "Oh, you got two teams, whatever." Look, what I love about this show, everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Sure.
I had a great education and great experience, and had lots of fun at Indiana University. I happen to be an attorney. I had a great time and a great experience at the University of Tennessee College of Law. I like both teams. And if you want to say, well, you're a bandwagon fan, I'll say guilty as charged. You would not take Indiana football serious either 3 years ago. And if I was inclined to be a jerk, I'd say, hey, how often did you watch Tennessee baseball before Vitello? Now, I wouldn't say that. But
no, it's the same thing.
If I was inclined.
If Vitello and Signetti, John, that's about a great comparison. Now, Tennessee baseball did have some history, which is even more remarkable to what Indiana's done.
Right, Indiana had less than Tennessee baseball.
Indiana had Bill Mallory's blip on the radar, and Lee Corso pausing in a 7-0 game. I think they got beat 55-7, but taking his whole team and going down and taking the team photo. That was their history. So, really good. Thank you. And Hoosier Ryan, congratulations. You're the world champion of college football today. Thank you.
Hey, guys, don't give up. It can happen for Tennessee, and contrary to what some people probably think in YouTube land, I desperately want it to happen.
Thank you, my brother.
We can be bitter and jealous, or we can learn.
I totally
agree.
And there's two paths, Brian and John. There's the Miami path, which is I'm going to purchase my way to the top, which Tennessee's certainly capable of doing that. Or there's the Indiana way. And again, Indiana and Tennessee spent about the same money on their roster this year. They just went different routes. This guy caught lightning in a bottle up there. People say, well, is it going to continue? They are the odds-on they are the odds-on favorite to hoist the trophy again next year. They returned a decent bit of their program, and they brought in a guy that is the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy next year, the Hoover kid. Now, I don't know if he will or not. I don't know if they will or not. But let me go to because everybody gets a vote here. One of the reasons why this show's growing like a weed, people understand that I'm pretty open-minded, and I'm open-minded to anything happening. People say, are you doing a bit with this Colorado quarterback? No. If you have a big arm and you can run around a little bit, you can make plays in this offense. George McIntyre right now is not built to take the punishment in this offense. He's just not. He's just not. And by the way, they know that. Now, here's what I'm going to read to you something, John, and I want you to respond. I don't know if you're doing a bit or not, talking to me, but Heupel's quarterback plan was abundantly clear, ... I think he's speaking to both of us. You went big with Ty or Sam, but when they didn't land either, they were fine to start GMAC. Staub is depth. How's that for a read on the situation?
Well, as you say, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and maybe that will come to fruition. But if you just look at the obvious, forget how thin George McIntyre is and worry about his sturdiness and all that kind of stuff. Going into a season and a schedule that Tennessee faces next season without an experienced quarterback. I don't care how good you're talented and the potential of your freshman or redshirt freshman quarterbacks. You need an experienced hand running the offense. If you don't have it against this schedule, Josh Heupel's putting himself in harm's way. I mean, if I were a coach and I'm looking at that, I can say, I got to get me a quarterback. And, yeah, if I have to overpay for it, I'm overpaying. And Tennessee didn't do that. I mean, you guys were downgrading Bo Prabula from Missouri.
Yeah.
I thought he would be a pretty nice addition for Tennessee. He's a really good runner. He's got a decent arm. He didn't play in an offense that was that pass-friendly last year. It was a run-oriented offense. I think he didn't have the receivers that Tennessee does at Missouri this past year. Didn't have Luther Burden anymore, who's an instant NFL star. So, I didn't have a problem with that. I thought at that point you get what you can. If you go down a list, you should have a list of quarterbacks.
That was my point.
Yeah, quarterback is so vital. You look at the
weird. Their handling of this thing's weird, man. Because here's the thing: if that guy's right, why are you playing around? If you're right, and we're going to arrive on GMAC after all this, okay? Why am I wasting my precious time going out and seeing Ty Simpson? I already know my quarterback's there. Like, if your narrative, sir, is right, I already know my quarterback's on this camp. What the hell am I doing? Why am I fooling around with a guy offering him $6 million Tuesday night? No offense to you, but that makes zero sense.
Well,
that makes zero sense. What you guys are saying makes, the plan all along is to go with this guy. Well, if that's the plan, then go with the plan. Obviously, that's not the plan. Why didn't he play in the bowl game? Let's go back here. Why didn't they play him at the end of the year and get him ready? If that's the plan,
okay,
how come I didn't get him on the field?
Here's another.
Come on, guys.
If that's the plan,
and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not doing a bit. I think the Colorado kid could come in here and with those two guys could compete for the job. I'm not laughing. I don't know that the guy's a depth piece, and neither do you. Hendon Hooker, when he came in here, I remember sitting behind this microphone and laughing when Hendon Hooker walked on this campus and we in the middle of the Pruitt thing when it was blowing up, John. And I remember talking to you off the air, and we were like, "What is that guy doing on this campus? Does he not know that we're about to go on probation? Does he not know that pestilence is getting ready to set in? Does he not know that this thing's a total mess?" The whole thing was so odd. It was so odd.
Well, here's the thing with Missouri's guy, Bo Prabula.
Yeah.
If you're confident that George McIntyre can get the job done, and you still can get Bo Prabula, and Prabula's willing to come here, I mean, you don't tell Bo, hey, we think this McIntyre kid's a real deal, and he'll probably win the job, but we'd love to have him, and we'll pay you this much money. No, you get him, and then you've got competition, and if George McIntyre, if he can't hold up and he can't take that SEC punishment, you backing him up with an experienced guy in the SEC.
I really want GMAC to go out there and win the job because he can prove everybody wrong. It'd be great. But they're not. Their actions tell me, and just from people I talk to, they don't think unless he gains a lot of weight that he's going to be able to do it. But I hear he's got a really good arm. I hear he processes pretty well. But they're just really concerned about the lack of his ability to add weight. And that's all it is. That is all it is. And look, you play in this league, you are going to get hit. Did you see the hit on the goal line last night? When that kid stretched out, now I want you to picture George McIntyre stretching out on the goal line, okay, right now, the way he's built, and extending on the goal line, and either a linebacker or a safety coming over and hitting him in the small of his back. The way Mendoza, who's a big kid, was hit last night, you would get a dustpan and a brush, and you would be out there sweeping up the parts. I mean, let's get real. This stuff is faux real. We're going to come back. Upon the continuance, we're going to turn a page. I know we got calls. I apologize. It is time for the Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch Hoops Hour. Mark Griffin's here. The basketball Vols are in big trouble in Little China, and we're committed to doing this even after a national championship game. I know. As we continue with more after this. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, PipeWrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with PipeWrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. PipeWrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience, Alumni Hall. Yeah, we're shifting gears. Here's the thing about me. You just had the incredible hour is what we just had. I mean, it was incredible, if I could say so myself. We had the guy on from Colorado who broke it down scientifically on our new quarterback. A fresh perspective on Indiana and what it means. But now it's time for former Vol great Mark Griffin of Griffin's Three Pointers, who you read over at tclub.team before each and every game. And he and I will both bow thy head and have to clap a little bit. We are both so damn glad there's not a Tennessee basketball game tonight. Yes! No Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime tonight. No trying to make sense of what I just watched from this year's edition. No splaining it away. You know what I mean, John? Like, doing the post-game show is fun, right? It is. I love that stuff. You know me. I'm a sicko. Doing the basketball post-game show when Kentucky fans are buzzing around on you like a pack of bees because you've lost 6 or 7 to them in your building, because you just decide in the last 90 seconds you're going to quit playing, and you decide with 5 minutes to go in the first half in a 17-point game that you're just going to pull your 2 guards off the floor. Okay. I mean, and you want me to defend that? I cut that show short the other day. I'm like, I ain't defending that.
I was on a Kentucky podcast day before the game and just saying I just didn't see how Kentucky had much of a chance. I'd just watch it play about the worst 12 minutes of basketball of Kentucky I'd ever seen against LSU in that horrific start. And it ended up winning that game, but I thought, okay, that's LSU, bad team.
Yep.
They're just not going to come in here at Food City Center and beat Tennessee. The way they're playing, they seem so disjointed, nothing's working. And lo and behold, they fall behind again. And I go, well,
there you go.
Yeah, here we go again. They're just horrible. And, man, they came back in the second half. Goodness. And
it's gross. and then the way those people were just – and I'm like, guys, is this what Kentucky basketball is? You win your championship in Knoxville every year? Because you don't compete in March. I mean, we took your lunch money last year in a tournament. You haven't been in the Elite Eight in like 10 years. You used to be, you either made a Final Four there, it was nothing. Kind of like the Lady Vol seasons back in the day. You either made a Final Four or you got nothing.
It was a huge disappointment.
Yeah. And that's what Kentucky basketball was for forever. And look at them. They're down here. They're totally mid. But Mark Griffin, I'm not sure we're not mid after watching us Saturday, man. I'm worried about our basketball team. Am I wrong? As now we start the lunchy bunch.
No, I think you're correct, Tony. There's a lot of concerns there. A lot of pieces of this puzzle needs to be put together to have a good look, and it's just not happening right now. And just to harp on that Kentucky game a little bit more. I mean, this is to me. And John, you didn't even see the Missouri game. That was worse than the LSU game. Missouri at Kentucky had a 15-2 run at the end of the game. Fans were booing. I mean, I've never seen that happen at Rupp. But this is, I mean, I know they've got the $22 million team, but this, man, what a bad investment. I mean, this team is probably the worst talented team that I've seen Kentucky put on a floor in quite some time. And that makes that loss even harder. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the guys that wear the uniform, but it is what it is. I love Owe. And if you were to tell me that he would only score 12 points and have 2 rebounds, you would think that Tennessee would win by 30.
Yeah.
And so it's just a tough loss. I was down the whole weekend after that.
Awful.
It's a tough game. It's hard to swallow. It's even unimaginable. I would, if I was a gambler, I would have put a lot of money on Tennessee, and it just no way that could happen. And even when you're up 17, you're just like, what?
Well, Genoy says to me, Tony, don't let those people see how upset you are. Wait a second here. No, that's what we do. I'm not worried that Kentucky fans are watching here, and I shouldn't have to justify what we're doing. Mark, explain something to me, because let's talk about Gillespie, okay? Who I like. And we were talking last week. He does so many little things well. But, man, he's got this thing at the end of games where it just looks like he's mentally exhausted, which leads me to this, Mark. Have they, with roster construction, and look, in the transfer portal era, you're not always going to get it right. These guys get it right more than they don't. Since we've had a transfer portal, they've been getting it right more than they don't. But this year's team, I'm not going to pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. This thing doesn't fit so far. I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying they won't be able to reorient the puzzle pieces. But right now, it doesn't fit. So, Mark, is there too much on this guy? Is that mental exhaustion at the end of the games we're seeing from him?
I don't know if you call it mental exhaustion, but I mean, you've got to label it something, because I know you've gone over it more and more than I have, Tony, but I think there was 2 critical turnovers at the end of the game, maybe the last 2 minutes, that you just sit there and go, what? How'd you throw that ball away?
Yeah.
Call a timeout at the worst.
Yes.
I mean, is it mental fatigue? I mean, he is playing 33 minutes a game. But the problem is you can't sit him. Who are you going to play at the point? And you mentioned about the portal. When the first several practices I went to in October, the glaring concern I had, and I called you about this, was who's going to play 2 guard, and can Gillespie play 2 guard, which he seems more comfortable. Who is going to handle the ball? Well, we've seen that they don't have anybody that Barnes is confident with that consistently run the point at any time during the game. Consistently run the point. Would love for it to be Evans, but Evans, let's call it what it is. He's a 2 guard. He is not a point guard. Ethan Berg, I call him Iceberg now. He seems frozen out there. I'm a little disappointed in him, because I've seen him at practice play really well, and then he's just a different player on the court. And Henderson, I mean, good effort, but he's just not. I don't know if he's not a difference maker. And when you're talking about these kids that come into college now, the big recruiting spiel, when coaches would call you is he a difference maker? Now, you could be an SEC player. That's what they have, SEC players, but do they have difference makers outside of Gillespie and of course, Ament? And I don't see that. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong.
No. You're exactly right. And Dave is pointing out, Dave, ZZ played as many minutes or more than Gillespie. Okay, Dave, but did he shoulder the burden of being a 1 guard and a 2 guard? Did ZZ have to be the scorer, the initiator, A guy that got on people defensively. I mean, John, this guy has everything on him on this team. Everything on him.
No doubt, and he's very talented, though. I like him as a player.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of ability. But what I don't understand, I wonder about, was the Rick Barnes and his staff thinking going in. I mean, to me, that was kind of obvious. You're a guard short.
Well, but they knew it when they lost the McNeely guy. See, if they get the McNeely guy, the plan falls together and plays perfectly. The McNeely guy ends up going to Louisville, where he's kind of gotten lost. If we're honest about it, he would not be lost on this basketball team. He would be a different McNeely than he's been so far for that Louisville bunch. And it is what it is.
What if? Always easy to say. What if?
Yeah.
What if instead of the money you paid Nate Ament, you got 2 guards for that? 2 players, not 1.
Mark, if they could do it all over again, think they would do it?
No. I mean, hindsight's 20/20. I think I've seen enough of Ament playing in the travel circuit that you don't pass on a guy like that and say, "Hey, let's get an extra guard." That's why you filled your roster with the guys you did. I mean, that's why even Bird, he was a late addition. If you recall, and I think they thought maybe he could fill a void there of consistent 3-point shooting.
Yep.
Hasn't happened. But I think you've got to go with a stud as an Ament. He is, showing signs of his true self. I don't think that's the issue. I don't think Ament is the issue at all. Gillespie's, he's had some bad turnovers, but as you say, John, you take the good with the bad, and there's more good than bad there. It's just when you look at this roster, you've got, once again, Gillespie, Ament, and who else? Who's going to beat you? And if I'm Nate Oates scouting UT, and you guys can add on this too, it's an easy scouting report. Stop Gillespie, force him to turnovers, rough up Ament. Let everybody else do what they can. You can't stop everything, but I would rather take my chance sending Jalen Carey and Okpara to the free throw line than I would to let Gillespie come off a screen and get a 3-pointer, or let Ament drive downhill unopposed. That's an easy scout, guys.
Mark Griffin, it's Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch breaking it down scientifically. Here's the deal. That's exactly what Kentucky did in the second half. Now, for some reason, and I want to get into this 2-foul dogma thing that Barnes has, this old school way of coaching. The old school way of coaching says last night you kicked that field goal. These are things we've always held true. 4th and short in your goal in football, or in your end of the field, you always punt. 4th and short around their 45, you always punted down through the years. Sooner or later, somebody's going to wake up and go, why in the world, when I have a guy that's 60% of my basketball team, that's what this Gillespie guy is. He's 60% of their team. Why would I pull him off the floor just because he has 2 fouls? We have a 17-point lead. Let's get this thing to 25. And if he picks up his 3rd in the process and we get the lead to 25, John, would you make that trade rather than having it 11 at halftime?
Yeah, but if you're up by 17 and you're blowing out Kentucky, I just think that wasn't the problem. They lost some of that lead.
Yeah.
I think it was 11 at halftime, but that wasn't the issue. And you've got to be conscious. You need to give Gillespie a break. You said he played 33 minutes the other day, and so much is placed on his shoulders. So to me, that's a time to get a break. I don't buy in necessarily that you have to take the guy off the court with 2 fouls. It depends on the player, his position, how he plays in that situation. Some guys can handle that. Some guys are going to make a stupid foul and get a 3rd foul.
This guy always pulls everybody off the floor with 2 fouls. It's a silly thing to do Saturday. I'm sorry. I love him. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's best coach at Tennessee in my lifetime, no question. Best coach I've seen, hands down. The success they've had. Mark, that 2-foul dogma thing Saturday pissed me off royally because when they did it, I knew they were in trouble. Mark, when they did it. You let that team right back in the game.
Yeah, I've got a different school of thought than you on that, Tony. You call me old school, I guess, or what have you. But 2 fouls first half, I think you come out. And like John said, it also depends on your personnel. That's where you have depth. You can afford a guy if you can afford to bring a guy out with 2. If you've got a good backup, you do, or you leave in. So there is, some leeway on that matter. But if you've got 2 fouls and I'm coaching against you, I am running a play at you immediately the next couple of times down the floor to take advantage of that to draw your third. And that's what coaches do.
Yep.
They try to draw that third, and it's once again goes back to the mental aspect of a game. You go into the half with 3 fouls on you, it's a big disadvantage on that team. And if you have depth, yeah, you can look at that option. Sometimes you have to play a guy maybe with 3 fouls because there's no one else that can replace him. But more times than not, Tony, I do think you're going to pull a guy with 2, just going in for that mental aspect. I think the players feel better. They're not going to play as hard defensively, I think, with 2 fouls the last, let's say, 4 minutes of the game in the first half. Opposing coaches know that, and coaches just know, go at the guy with 2 fouls. I cherish a moment when we're playing a team and they've got a guy with 2 fouls and you leave him in. The first thing I even say it out loud is go at him. If Phylon from Alabama's got 2 fouls with 4 minutes left, they should post Gillespie, post Amari. They should post anyone they can to get a mismatch on him because he's just not going to give 100%. You're just not.
And to y'all's point, if I'm Alabama and that kid gets his first foul before the first TV timeout, I'm trying to put the second foul on him because by y'all's line of reasoning, he immediately comes off the floor, and the minute he does, I get 10 free minutes to have at your basketball team because he's 60% of our team. I love y'all's dogma. It's great, and I'm not gonna belabor the point here. But once again, not all rules are made to be broken. There's exceptions to every rule, I believe, when it comes to these matters, and that's one of them. This guy here, this team, this point in time. I love y'all, but Mark, I'm always saying, what would the opponent want me to do? Take him off the floor. Get that guy off the floor. Because then when he comes back into the game in the second half, we got a new game plan. And what we're doing, Mark, is exactly what you're talking about. What Kentucky did was masterful. People can say what they want to say about this guy and his staff at Kentucky, but they came out after halftime, and the first, second, third action of Tennessee, they took Gillespie away, Mark, did they not? They did a really nice job in the second half, yes?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you got to credit them. And I mean, to be down 17 on the road, boisterous atmosphere, regardless of how they fared in Knoxville in the past, talent-wise, good. Not great for Kentucky standards, don't get me wrong. I mean, but just the effort, the little things, how the coaches really got in their ear to tell them, next play, stay in it, keep fighting, one possession at a time. And then, Tennessee just bit the bed. I'm sorry, but they did.
Mark, when you bring up Kentucky and the coaching job that Mark Pope and his staff did, you understand this as well as anybody being around SEC basketball for so long. The pressure on a Kentucky basketball coach is unlike that at any SEC school. And what those guys have to deal with, and when they go through the decision-making process, they know what the fallout could be and how much is at stake in any game. You brought it up. Kentucky got booed at home in that Missouri game. So Mark Pope's got more pressure on him than any other coach in the league. And I thought he handled it really. He handled his coaching really well and kept his team together, first against LSU when he's down 18, and then again against Tennessee when he was down 17.
Yep.
No, you're right. I mean, it just tells you that regardless of talent of this opponent, they've got fight. And Kentucky displayed it. And I hate to use that term, just means more. Well, they just wanted it more. And it just goes down to extra effort, 50-50 balls, diving on the floor, communication on the floor. And that's the biggest thing that we're not even talking about that we addressed last week is, where's our vocal leader?
Yep.
We don't have one. And we've got leaders. You have statistical leaders, you have minutes leaders, etc.
Yep.
But you don't have, and we can't say the what ifs, but we don't have a Zakai Ziegler type player.
Yep.
And you can go back for years under Barnes and say who's their leader on the floor to rally the guys during a time that's not being a successful possession, to say, hey, guys, let's stick it out. We got TV timeout in 20 seconds. We're going to run this play next time down the court. I need you to pick it up on D. I got your help. I got your back.
Yep.
And you don't see that. And I looked for that in the game this weekend, and I didn't see that vocal leader of anyone. Now, even some of the guys that aren't big minute getters can even still be a vocal leader if no one else has stepped it up, and no one has stepped it up. And that's my biggest concern moving forward, is not if they're going to make their free throws, not if they're not going to hit the offensive boards, but who's going to rally them during a time of adversity? Because that's when you really come together, and that's when the let's say the character part comes out of how much dog do you have in you, is when you're facing adversity. Do you fight back or not?
And in the transfer portal era, when you're just usually literally playing pickup basketball, how do you even find that? Like, at what point of the year do these teams identify? Because you have to feel comfortable enough around your teammates to eventually go, hey, by the way, this is my room. Like, I've only been here 9 months, and none of the guys that returned have that in them, obviously. So this is going to be, maybe it's iceberg, who knows?
Well, I think, Tony, that a player comes in, a really talented player. Let's just use Gillespie as an example. He comes in, and everybody knows he's getting money.
Yeah.
Everybody knows he's the big guy. Nate meant to, obviously, but he's a freshman. Gillespie's a proven product, a big-time addition for Tennessee. So he comes in, and he wants to fit in. It's commendable. A player in his situation, he needs to fit in. He doesn't want to, hey, this is my team. I'm here. Things are changing. No, you want to fit in, but there's kind of a balance there. And he's the guy I think you would look to for leadership, is Gillespie.
It's a remarkable thing to watch these guys, because from that Houston game till now, this thing has kind of it's downturning, but there's no reason the cone of the airplane can't turn up and they can start to ascend again. On the other side, I'm going to ask Griff, as part of Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch, what are we going to do for that ascension to happen? What needs to occur? And then we'll look ahead to Alabama a little bit. But one thing I want to ask these guys is, can you grow more instinctive as the season goes along, or can this just be kind of a dumb team that's going to do dumb things, full of kind of dumb players that just do dumb things at dumb times, just not smart things, not winning things? Because they are not doing winning things at winning time right now. They're just not. And I want to shout out Lisa Coleman here, who's in our chat. Lisa, I love our female sports fans, because I love women that are, can come in and talk sports and aren't afraid to kind of get in the middle of it and mix it up. I think that's very endearing and very cool. I'm not going to lie to you. But there's exceptions to all rules, I said earlier, and you're one of them. Lisa Coleman says Tennessee sucks. Lisa, you're really adding a lot to the discourse, and you're kind of a punk and a clown, as we continue with more after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And of course, go Vols!
Basilio here with my buddy, Kenexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Kenexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Kenexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Kenexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
It's Mark Griffin's Happy Time Hoops Hour. John Adams is in the house, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. And Griff's in the house as well, and we're breaking it down scientifically and moving right to left across your device and making it happen with the greatest of ease. And I call it the Mark Griffin Happy Time Hoops Hour because Griff makes me happy. So, Griff, thank you for doing that. You make me happy. I know that wasn't a name that we had last week. I kind of like that Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch thing, too, because it makes me giggle. And right now, I'm about amusing myself because that might be all we have left this basketball season. Because I'm going to ask you guys, Mark, I start with you. The instincts of this team are certainly in question after what we've seen the last few games. And Negative, leave it to Negative. Negative, condolences up for your father. We all grieve in different ways. He's grieving by getting in our chat room and blasting the basketball team. He says that we're 5-6 in our last 11 games since the Houston game. That was not on my Sean Sinclair Cinco card. He'll be with us tomorrow. We haven't shown great instinct over that time period. We've done some kind of baffling things during this stretch to start out underwater in the league. Mark, does this team have an alarming lack of instinct, as some inside the program seem to think, and can you grow that? Can you find that elsewhere in your roster? What do you think? You and John.
I don't know if I would call it a lack of instinct. I think if a Barnes coach type team has always relied on tough defense, that's first and foremost has to be consistent throughout the season, home or away. If they don't play good defense, it's over because they don't have enough offensive weapons to overcome a lack of great, consistent defense throughout. And with that said, if you have consistent defense and you get up by a high margin, you can maybe afford an errant turnover or two. But when it's a close game, then that's when it's like the sphincter gets tight and you're like, oh, we got to go to the free throw line. Oh, we've got to take care of the ball. Oh, we've got only 2 weapons that we can primarily go to. And then that becomes much bigger concern. So what scares me, the best way for me to answer it is close games, bigger concern. Bigger concern is going to be, there's going to be a lot of close games in the SEC. So it could go either way the rest of the season. They could go 500 the rest of the season because there's no guarantee. We talked about this offline that they're going to win all their home games now. When you do lose that critical game to Kentucky, like happened the other day, like occurred the other day, you just open it up for future error because now you get in a similar situation in your head as a player going, this didn't fare too well last time. And now you're playing not to lose versus dominate your opponent and owning your backyard.
I just think I don't necessarily think of it as instinctive. I mean, those are significant lapses Tennessee's had. I look at it a couple of things. One, as Mark pointed out, the defense hasn't been there. The defense on the perimeter. And I'm really curious, and it's why I think the Alabama game is so significant, because Alabama lives on the three-point line or behind the three-point line. It's all about threes. And Tennessee and Rick Barnes have done well against Alabama and Nate Oates' teams in the past. But this team isn't showing me it can guard Alabama's guards, Holloway, and what's the other guy's name?
Phylon.
Yeah, that's a weird name.
Great player.
Yeah, those two guards. So that makes me wonder. That's why I think it's a really significant game. However, I just see with teams every basketball season, you look at all these teams and they just can change from one week to the next.
Right.
I mean, go back. You look at Florida. Okay, going into the Tennessee game, great front court, 3 frontline future NBA players make an NBA roster. But guard play, oh my gosh, there's no Walter Clayton to carry Florida through the NCAA tournament all the way to national championship like it had last year. And then the next thing you know, Boogie Fland has a tremendous game against Tennessee.
He boogied all right.
Then Lee, the Ivy Leaguer, who I was starting to think this guy, he was overrated. What's his first name? Is it Steven?
Yeah, and he got nice hair too.
Well, anyway, but Lee, he really came through big against Vanderbilt. So now I look at Florida completely differently than I did. I look at Florida now and think, that team might go win a national championship again. Yeah.
They're going to win the SEC. I'm going to tell you right now.
Well, so Mark, you see it. I've gone through. I've seen teams at the end of the year look horrible. You want momentum built up going into postseason play, and then all of a sudden they turn it on. I've seen teams go out and play horribly in the SEC tournament, then turn around and go on a run in the NCAA tournament. I just think it's really hard to ascertain with this sport who's going to be good when. But I do look at Tennessee and see pretty obvious shortcomings. To me, the overriding thing is who's going to score. And we've asked that question about better teams than this one for Tennessee in the NCAA tournament. Who will score? Who will hit that perimeter shot in tough times in an NCAA tournament game?
You know, it's and that's going to be once we get there. And this leads me to this. So my guy C thinks if you gave him the whistle, he would take a Ament right now and start initiating more offense through him. I'm surprised they didn't do that against Kentucky after he saved their bacon with A&M. And he had matchups to do it, Mark. What do you think the thought was in going away from that once he showed them that he could initiate and get downhill some?
Tony, I have no clue, but I agree with you. I thought that Ament would be a lot more involved than he was against Kentucky. And yes, he shot 9 free throws, but 7 field goal attempts should be the first half. He should get 12 to 15 attempts per game, period. I don't care who they're playing. They could be playing Catholic here in Knoxville. He has to be the center of attention throughout the rest of the season. But you know, if you once again not to be critical of Coach Barnes, Hall of Fame coach, unbelievable. But you know, you look at this team and it's like, where are you going to score? You've got 2 players. And I still go back against scouting. I mean, looking at scouting, if I'm scouting Tennessee, I'm banging Ament as soon as it gets across midcourt.
Yep.
I'm even doubling Gillespie, make him give up the ball. I would rather the ball, if I'm an opponent's coach, in anyone's hands running an offense than Gillespie, period. And this Alabama team, it's really interesting. This is going to be a very interesting game because which Alabama team's going to show up? They've got great guards with Philon and Holloway. And one stat that really popped out that I've got to get out there, they're shooting 36 three-pointers a game. They're leading the nation in three-point attempts. They shoot more three-pointers than they do two-pointers. So, and like John said, one of Tennessee's weaknesses has been guarding the perimeter. How are you going to guard both these fantastic guards? Because you can stop one, but then you got the other that gets on fire. You stop Gillespie, who does Tennessee have that's consistent? Now, you may have a guy that breaks out and has one good shooting game, but the problem that I'm concerned long-term is consistent three-point shooting, consistent guard play, because you can't afford, or Barnes can't afford to put guys out there for 18 minutes.
Nope.
And them not produce and go, well, I'm giving them a chance to get some minutes.
Well, how about this?
It's going to help them, help them down the road, but we need help now.
Hey, Griff, I know the kid's kind of a cause celeb among the fans, and early in the year he's a great story. This Boswell guy, you cannot play two guard at the SEC level and score 4 points in 28 minutes in a league game, or 24 minutes in a league game. That I'm sorry. You can't be a good enough defender to stay on the floor doing that. I know people want to talk about, well, he's got the body, he's got the approach of a four-man, and, he does all these. You can't do enough things on a floor to be a two-guard in major college basketball and score 4 points in over 20 minutes. I'm sorry. Am I wrong?
And I know he had one missed 1-and-1. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
did he have a second?
No, he had one missed 1-and-1. That's the other thing. You can't be that guy and then go to the foul line and critical points in a game and miss foul shots.
Yeah, I know it happened at least once. Maybe it was twice. I don't have a great memory.
No
but
offense to him.
You're right.
No offense to him. I mean,
No offense. Plays hard. Good defender.
Hard.
But once again, who's going to score?
But Mark, Tony, who going into this season, when the coaches thought about this and plotted out their strategy and outlook for the season, whom did they think was going to score?
The McNeely guy.
Abram
is the guy they brought in to score. That's a good point, because he's scored at every level. He's basically scored everywhere he's been. He runs around with a headband and every once in a while puts a shot in.
Well, maybe he'll get hot if he's got a track record for that.
I like the freshman who showed some guts and some guile against A&M. I'm not so sure, Mark. I wouldn't give him some more run at the two. Those are two.
Henderson?
Yeah, those are two changes I would make. I'd give him some more run at the two, and I would let Ament initiate my offense a little more and get my point guard off the ball and let him create things. Let him be a headache on the offensive end, because otherwise they're just getting bogged down. You guys have any other suggestions? Mark, do you? Any other suggestions for what you would do here?
One thing, and this, you're not going to see this, but I would like to see, if I could play coach for a day, maybe a possession or two of zone.
Nice.
And mix it up. Just mix it up. Just a little zone here, maybe out of bounds. Just throw a little different, because it does throw you off offensively when you come out of a timeout and a team just doesn't play zone, and then you're looking at they're going 2-1-2 or a 3-2, and you're like, we haven't really practiced this a whole lot, because you'll practice against zone some during the week, when you're doing your scouting report, but you don't spend a lot of time on it. You just don't. You don't have enough time. So maybe a little zone. I like the idea of Ament bringing the ball down the court if he can. For me, I like a little up tempo. I think, when you've got guards that can take advantage of getting a rebound and can run, guys want, in today's style, most players want to run. And if you can take advantage of those opportunities, but if you really watch this team, I've seen them just pull back more than I've seen them try to take advantage of maybe a 3 versus 2 for whatever reason. Maybe they're coached to do that, and that's fine. But I'm just a firm believer that if you've got an advantage on offense, you take advantage of it. Don't pull back. Let's get that up tempo. Now, against Alabama, they may want to pull the ball back because Alabama's averaging 93 points a game. But, you know, a lot of it's, I think a lot of it, too, is just timing of the game. What to do during certain times of the game. But the first and foremost for me was like throwing a zone.
It's a great thought. Here's another thing, John, for you guys. They've been ultra successful against this Alabama team when they've played them in the past. Barnes has been really good against these 3-point oriented teams. They did it against A&M. I mean, they almost lost the game, but the point still remains. When they play these types of teams, they're good at running these guys off the foul line. Past editions have been, or off the 3-point line, rather. Will they be able, John, to run this team off the 3-point line, or do you think Alabama's going to get their shot Saturday night down there while we're all snowed in due to Snowmageddon 2026? John?
Oh, don't even mention that. Yeah, I mean, you look at the track record and you say yes, but you look at how this team has played so far and you say no. What gets me is I don't think Tennessee, we're talking all this stuff about perimeter, but I think Tennessee, certainly not against Florida because it's got the best front line in college basketball. But in most cases, I think Tennessee has an advantage inside and it's not exploiting that enough. I just think it needs to do more of that. And I thought J.P. Estrella would be more productive than he is.
Gotten worse to me. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, John, because I had a note here to bring him up. And I'm sure he's a great kid. He throws up that little W sign when they win. Yeah, it's cute. But I just like to see the guy get on the floor. I mean, just dive on the floor one time, just one time. And I think Barnes is showing him some motivation because he's not playing them. I mean, against Kentucky, I think he played, 7 minutes or 9 minutes. And sure, he was productive 2 for 2, but he had no rebounds. I mean, even 9 minutes, you got to get a rebound when you have that length. And even more than just the length, it's the effort. And that's one thing that I haven't seen. People told me, Estrella's going to be a pro. And I'm like, pro what? Pro wrestler? He's not going to be an NBA player.
What?
Not with that effort, guys, because the effort is not there defensively. I've seen him stand, not bend his knees, not block out. Guys are getting offensive boards around him.
Could it be that he's just physically diminished, Mark? Could that be what it is?
What's that?
Could it be that he's physically diminished after all these injuries he's been through and everything else?
And don't play. But then he shouldn't play. I don't buy into that when they go after the season and go, well, he played with a broken foot. Well, you know what? Shouldn't play. If you're not cleared to play, you're not 100, you don't play.
Yeah. Damn, you're keeping it
100. Mark, how much do they miss Cade Phillips?
I think they missed Cade Phillips on the offensive boards, but as far as free throw shooting, I mentioned this to John.
Yeah.
I mean, his free throw shoot was like 30% or so, or it was really bad. It was, here, I got it here. 30%. Yeah, pretty good. So, but I think also at the same time, the good thing about Cade that I really liked, he's an effort guy. And when you play alongside effort guys, and what I mean by that, guys that play hard, it makes you want to play harder because you're looking at your teammate and you're going, he's got my back. And we had a guy like that, Elvin Brown, that played at UT.
Loved Elvin Brown.
Great effort, length. And you just knew I could get beat defensively, and Elvin had my back. And with Cade, I feel the guys felt that. It's like, look, I could get beat. If I'm a guard, I'll overplay, and Cade is there. And that's what you really do kind of live off of each other and their effort. And I just want to see more of Estrella have the effort. Get on the floor. Look for that 50-50 ball. And I think, and John said this, maximize against their inside game and with our depth. offensively, I think that may be a key because where Alabama, even though they're a really good rebounding team, I don't think they're a strong defensive team inside. They're relying on freshmen.
Yep.
And I think you could really take advantage of them, down in Alabama.
So, Griff, on the way out here, and that was a fast hour, the Garza Law post-game show Saturday, will this be the third? Is it the third or fourth consecutive Saturday loss, Bri? These are running together for me.
Fourth. If it loses, it would be.
Oh, jeez Louise.
It's lost to Arkansas, Florida, and now Kentucky. It's
These guys are starting to urinate me off, and they're ruining my weekends. It's going to be one thing to be snowed in, okay? It's going to be a nut, because I think we're going to – Jim Cantori, who's my paisan, told me today that you better, if you're in these parts, you better stock up. Okay, we might do some school closings on Friday. Griff, let's get some school closings to me.
I love that. Hey, one last thing, though, before I go, Tony.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the Saturday debacle.
Yeah.
A common theme, okay?
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yep.
Their hot shot guard, number 5, Acuff.
Yep.
Career game.
Yep.
Plan, career game this season.
Yep.
Last week, Aberdeen, career game. Common theme, all guards. What is Alabama's biggest strength? Guard. I hope we're not talking about this next week and saying Philon had a career game or Holloway had a career game, but there's a trend of 3 there that we've got to be concerned about.
Griff, you're really making me feel good. Thanks, man. Hey, appreciate you, love you. Incredible. Great appearance today, brother. You're part of my lunchy bunch.
Appreciate you guys. Go Vols.
Go Vols to you, the great Mark Griffin. Look, the great William Pattison in the playbook's up next here on Fan Run. On the other side, let me tell you something. We're going to do some overtime today. I got to celebrate. The Titans have a new coach. There's a new national champion of college football. That Indiana's done this shows me that we can do it here. We can get the chalice back. Damn it, I want my trophy back. There was an owner in sports that said that, John. Who was it? Said, I want my trophy back. Oh, it's the owner of the Phillies. And you know what he hadn't done? Gotten his trophy back. But anyway, but I want my trophy back. I think Indiana ought to give everybody hope. John's got a roll. Presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. John, do you believe that was 2 hours? How quick was that? Seems like we just got here.
It was very fast.
Very fast today.
2 completely different hours.
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, and I celebrate all the sports, always have. Very excited for the start of the baseball season. We got things planned for that as well. I'm excited.
Well,
my man William Pattison is on the way. Bow thy head when you say thy name next.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
John, you really want to stick around, don't you? You're trying to take those headphones off. Now, I got to ask, where do you have to be that would be more salient and interesting? I got a feeling, and I don't know who these calls are, but I got a feeling Titans Bill is in this set of 3 love songs in a row, and Robert Saleh has just been hired. Brian, is that a Saleh hire by the Tennessee Titans? They've hired Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator from your San Francisco 49ers. Brian Hartman, do you celebrate Saleh?
As a fan of one of the other AFC South teams, I don't hate it. He was a head coach before with the Jets.
That doesn't count.
Well, I guess everybody who's a head coach with the Jets eventually gets fired.
It doesn't count.
So
Bill Parcells couldn't win there. The Hoodie couldn't win there. That nobody can win in New York. The New York Jets, Sean, ought to just fold it up. They ought to reemerge like it's a New York Titans. Take on the or whatever.
Well, I would have just hired Buffalo's coach
yesterday. I agree with that. You're going to cut him loose. I'm going to go down there and get him.
Yeah, just like they did with Harbaugh.
Yep.
I mean,
I would have hated that. Now, I would have hated that.
Say?
Well, all these Bills players were talking about what a great leader he was. I mean, gosh, he got a horrible call in that
awful
in that Denver game. That game where we're talking about how great the weekend was for sports, football, college, and pro.
Yeah.
And in that game, here's Denver and Buffalo.
Yep.
Bo Nix, Josh Allen, all these guys.
Yep.
Great game.
Yep.
And it's really as though both teams lost because they lost Bo Nix at quarterback. They're not winning with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. But gosh, I didn't understand the firing. I think with the NFL, these owners, they just got so much money they can't fire their entire team, and they want to show, well, I just had enough of this.
Yeah.
We need something new. Well, you can get something new. I mean, the Jets get something new every few years. What happens with them? What happened for the Saints all these? I mean, the Saints went like 20-something years without a winning season after their inception.
Yeah.
You just bring in another guy. I don't know.
I don't mind the Saleh hire. I think a guy deserves a chance. I like him because he looks like a mix between Chris Burke and also Brian Penske. Brian, look at him and look at Brian Penske and look at Chris Burke. Saleh looks like a bald-headed Chris Burke met and procreated with the former Lady Vol soccer coach.
We can leave the images out, but there is some heat between Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen.
Say, I like that.
That will be interesting.
I want some damn heat.
They'll face each other twice now a year, and then in the same division.
Yep.
And what happened was Saleh said something before they played San Francisco. The Jags played San Francisco early in the season out there, and he said something about how offensively the Jags are good at stealing signals or something to that effect. And I think Saleh tried to explain himself after the game was over. The Jags won the game, and Liam Cohen was having nothing of it. He said, "You keep our name out of your mouth."
Hey, Brian, and
walked away.
Brian. Our job.
That's what
here,
Liam told
Brian. Our job here is to accrue an audience, so we got to keep the Jags talk.
Well, this is actually relevant to the Titans.
John, I got to tamp down. Do you agree with that? The Jags conversation.
Because this is going to be they're going to be a key opponent for the Titans.
Brian getting this?
Well, here's the thing, Tony. Last week when I was on, you were criticized by you YouTubers for talking too much about Alabama, which Alabama's Tennessee related. Here's something else that's Tennessee related.
Yep.
Something to think about. You said it. If Indiana can do it, anybody can. Okay?
Yeah.
What about Kentucky?
Anybody can do it.
Kentucky just got paid $38 million, which I didn't think it would do, to get rid of Mark Stoops.
Yeah.
It's a basketball school.
Yeah.
Invest in basketball.
Yeah.
And that really got my attention, that it would pay $38 million to tell a coach to leave.
Yeah.
And then I look at what it's done in the portal.
Yeah.
It's rebuilt its offensive line. 3 starters from Power 4 teams
Anybody can do
are
it.
now in Kentucky's offensive line.
If I were to give Tennessee advice, it would be, and I'm not an advice giver.
You're not?
Please learn from Vanderbilt. Please learn from Indiana. Your team this year, Tennessee, is too young. We wake up again, and we got young players from Penn State. Now, they're good players. But 2 of the 4 guys are young that you're counting on that defensive line. The defensive end, who we love, barely played. It's all projected. It's not production. It's projected, not production. The guy at Indiana goes out and gets production. The guy at Vanderbilt went out and got production. The people at Kentucky on that offensive line have gone out and gotten production. There's a conversation going on our YouTube channel. What should the Vols be done in the portal? No, they shouldn't be done in the portal. First of all, they've got spots left. Secondly, they've got needs. Thirdly, you've got 2,000 guys still in the portal, and you got a bunch of veteran players. You better pull 3 or 4 more guys out of there, and they better be over the age of 21 or 22 and be productive people with hair on their chest. You know what I mean, John? Like I would learn from that. I'm serious here. I would learn from that.
Well, you look what Vanderbilt did. Vanderbilt had all these graduate transfers. They're getting 22-year, 23-year-old guys.
Why wouldn't you?
And it makes a difference. I just think the days of having a great high school recruiting class and you're in the top 10, well, 2 words, so what? I don't care. I don't think you should sign more than 15 high school players.
No, Danny White said that the other day. Danny White's like, if it's my, I think we ought to go portal heavy.
Yes.
He's right.
Yeah, you have to go portal heavy, but you have to do your due diligence, and you got to be ready when that portal door swings open. When it swings open, you got to have already done your work, and you've already identified. You got a list of who you want at defensive tackle, quarterback, and running back, and then you just start going down that list.
And by the way, Dave is making a good point over at YouTube. If you look at our roster right now, because Sean Sinclair sent me this, we're even younger next year than we were this year.
That's not good.
Not good. In a sport where veteran players are running and rolling the day, look at Miami last night. Miami said, you know what? We need a few pieces. So we're going to go get a veteran player off Tennessee's roster, and we all went, what in the world are they fooling around with Jacoby Thomas for? You know why? Because they had tape on him. And they knew we can get this guy to where we need him to be because we've seen it on film. But you have to be able to identify it. You have to be able to coach it. And you have to be able to plug them in. And whether Heupel can do that or not, the jury's still out on that. But they've been pretty good out of the portal. John, that's why last year I was on here 1 year ago just screaming and yelling about why we weren't doing anything in the portal. And by the way, I hate to tell y'all, I was right and you were wrong. I hate to tell you that. I was right about that.
I can see the expression in your face to see how much that pains you to say you were right.
Well,
it hurts you.
I do not get younger in this sport now. I learn from – these guys are all sheep anyway. They all follow each other. Learn from Vanderbilt. Learn from Indiana. Learn from Miami. Unless you're going to play at Ohio State where you're signing 5-star on top of 5-star, start making your living in the transfer portal. Get veteran players.
Well, look what Indiana did. Indiana's having this historic season.
Yeah.
Nothing even close to the season. But Indiana's also doing his homework for the seasons to come. Because when that portal opened, all of a sudden, with all Indiana has going on, it's trying to, get through the playoffs. It's trying to maintain to win a national championship, but it's still doing its work for the next season. And when that portal, it knew where it was going for its quarterback. There wasn't any hesitation. It's getting Josh Hoover at TCU.
Yeah,
it got Michigan State's a really good receiver at Michigan State. Yeah. It got a who's the other player I was thinking of. It had guys identified right away.
Yep.
And it knows what, even though it's at the top of the world.
Yes.
In college football, but you look at Frank Signetti, the coach.
Yeah.
And all the praise that's been heaped on him, I think he's got a Saban-like quality about him that right now, what Frank Signetti's thinking about is.
You mean? Is Frank Signetti related to Kurt Signetti?
Kurt Signetti,
is that his brother?
I like Frank, too. I like any of the Pisons.
Kurt Signetti. I'm sorry. God.
He does sound good, though, to be Frank Signetti. I agree with that.
But Kurt Signetti.
You need to find out who Frank Signetti is. I bet there's a Frank Signetti in your past down there in Louisiana, all those Italians.
God, Aren't
they great people, those Italians, John? You met down there? Aren't those great people? Buddy Diliberto, good guy? Star BUD.
Oh, yeah, Buddy Diliberto, great guy.
Incredible. I love my pot. Indiana next year opens as the favorite, to John's point, to win the national championship again. Now, am I buying? I don't buy people that high, but here are some of your odds, just for just for giggles here. Indiana's plus 700. Ohio State's plus 750. John, who's next? Who do you think the third best odds are?
Wait, say the first two?
The first one is
Indiana.
The second one's Ohio State. 3 of the top 5, John, are from the Big Ten.
I guess Oregon is up there.
Oregon's number 5. So let's get the...
And then Texas would be right at the top.
Texas is number 3. Notre Dame is number 3. I think Notre Dame had one of the best teams in the world this year, and they were left out of the tournament by a quirk of fate. It is what it is. Hey, a quirk of fate and the fact that they're no longer playing an elite schedule. They need to get in a league. So, and I don't feel sorry for you.
But when you look at the SEC right now,
yeah,
I look at Texas is number 1.
Yeah, correct.
When I look at and now everybody's going to say Georgia.
Georgia's plus 900 with Oregon.
It's
tied at 5.
Okay. Then I think LSU with the
plus 1,200. They're the 7th best odds to win it all.
Yeah. And so then I would probably go the next 2 teams, though, probably further down the line would be Texas A&M and Oklahoma.
Nope. Texas A&M is here are the top 10 odds because several of these games are on Tennessee's schedule next year, ironically enough, or sadly enough, or it's an opportunity enough, however you want to look at it. Indiana's plus 700. Ohio State's plus 750. Texas is plus 800. Notre Dame plus 800. Georgia's plus 900. Oregon's plus 900. LSU plus 1,200. Then we get down to I spent more money than you in the portal, Texas Tech plus 1,400. Texas A&M, I can spend more money than you, but my resume says I'm going to poop out again, plus 1,500. Alabama plus 2,000, and Miami plus 2,000. Now, here's what's interesting. Everybody else is 35-1 or worse. So everybody else is 3,500 or worse. The Vols are 60-1. Now, check this out. Heisman top 12. John, let's off the top of your head. They're all quarterbacks. Who's the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman? You just talked about him.
I don't see him winning the Heisman, but Josh Hoover, because he's with Indiana.
Yep.
Indiana and
Number 2,
Dante Moore.
Manning.
Oh,
Right?
How could I get?
I mean, the hype around, hype around him.
But Arch Manning, his second half of the season was completely different than his first half. And
you buying, selling, or trading him as a Heisman candidate next year?
I'm buying him.
Sayin is 750. Plus 750.
I'm not buying him.
No, he sucks. He's a figment of Martin Colombo's imagination. The Moore guy, plus 800.
Yeah, I'm buying that.
I sell him.
You don't like him, but
I think he stinks. The Smith kid is plus 1,200. Carr is plus 1,600. Sorsby, incidentally, is plus 2,000 along with Levitt, the 2 guys the Vols were involved with.
Where's Tennessee's highest Heisman odds guy? Who's Tennessee's
Levitt,
guy?
Mensa is plus 2,500 because he's going to Indiana, even though he allegedly has a contract. Marcel Reed.
Not Indiana. He's going to Miami.
I'm sorry, he's going to Miami. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
It's all fraud.
Well, at least you didn't call Signetti Frank.
I'm going to call him Frank forevermore.
What's his dad's name?
I don't know.
I thought it was Frank.
Frank Signetti. Reed is
maybe
plus,
he's a junior.
Reed is plus 2,500. Gunnar Stockton is plus 2,500, and Mateer is plus 2,500.
Something else to think about. We've been talking about Tennessee in the portal. Talking about Tennessee at quarterback. A&M, playoff contender, just made the playoffs. Quarterback returns. Texas probably would have fared better in the NCAA tournament or the NCAA playoffs than Alabama would have or Oklahoma would have. Texas quarterback, it's returning. LSU, I'm talking about Tennessee opponents here. LSU gets Sam Levitt, a quarterback that Tennessee desired. All those schools that Tennessee's playing, even South Carolina with Lenore Sellers returning, these quarterbacks. Now Alabama, I don't know who Alabama's I think Alabama's in bigger trouble than Tennessee. I think
totally agree with that.
I think right now I would have. I started working on my SEC rankings for next year, and I would probably have Tennessee ahead of Alabama. I don't like Alabama for next year.
Alabama, the league, one thing Blake Topmeyer said to me, and then we'll go to the phones, the league has been the league is down. This transfer portal thing has happened, and you look at the SEC and you go, there's an opportunity here for Tennessee. There's an opportunity for Oklahoma. There's an opportunity for somebody. Because these juggernaut teams that we've gotten, you just have to reorient your thinking. But, John, you got to go. And I'm going to walk John out right now. So I'm going to take our last time out, which we're overtime because we had our guest from Colorado jump on us. And I'm glad we talked to him because he gave us some good stuff. But listen in, then we'll get some calls in, and we'll do some overtime. It's all ahead.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high-character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Slow drains, gurgling, and bad odors may seem minor, but left unattended, they can turn into a plumbing emergency fast. Don't let a clogged drain become a disaster. Keep things moving smoothly with Pipe Wrench's $99 drain clearing, guaranteed to work, or it's free. Our certified plumbers arrive prepared with the tools and expertise to clear even the most stubborn clogged drains. And with our same-day service guarantee, you get fast relief without the inconvenience of waiting. Have more than just a clogged drain? We also offer free on-site estimates and free second opinions on repairs. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $99 drain clearing online today at pipewrench.com. If we can't clear it, you don't pay. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. For residential main lines only, requires clean-out access. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Calhoun's invites you to leave the cooking to us all holiday season long. Between now and the end of the year, feast without the fuss. When you host at the holidays, don't you dare cook. Go absolutely next level with this offer. Between now and the first of the year, Calhoun's is offering an incredible deal on delicious turkey or prime rib dinner. You could feed from 5 to 10 people at your home holiday gathering, not lift a finger of preparation. The turkey dinner comes with amazing sides like mashed potatoes, peas, melt in your mouth gravy, dressing to die for, fresh rolls, cranberry sauce, and homemade cheesecake. And that prime rib dinner features amazing melt in your mouth prime rib, fresh mashed potatoes, au jus, green beans, gravy, rolls, horseradish sauce, and delicious fresh baked cheesecake. This amazing offering is available now through the new year. Call to place your order today. More information found at holidayfeedpack.com. Again, that's holidayfeedpack.com. Feast without the fuss this holiday season with Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee. Hey, thank you for bearing with me as we go back to our phones, 865-200-5402. So Robert Saleh is the choice of the Titans. I like to hire. I don't judge anybody. I don't judge anybody but what they did with the New York Jets. I'm sorry. I just don't. Except maybe the Mangino guy. That guy's a punk and a clown. I'm not sure Frank Cignetti right now, Bri, could win with the New York Jets. How about you? You think Frank Cignetti could win if he was with the New York Jets right now?
Probably not, but I know one way you can procure up more listeners, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
That's talk more NHL regular season and betting on Flyers games. That'll really reel them in.
Okay. That's kind of a low-key dig. It's pretty great. It's pretty great, man.
Sorry, Tom.
One point that I made in the blog today, and I just I love that we got the strength and conditioning coach from Indiana. I think that is a tremendous, incredible hire by the Vols. Just an otherworldly hire by the Vols. That says we're serious about what we're doing. So, very good hire. Gives me hope.
Maybe he can get GMAC to gain 10 pounds.
What they're saying is, and I got to look into this, but they're saying in the chat, I haven't looked at it yet, but they're saying that he helped Mendoza grow 20 pounds in a year. The problem with McIntyre, and I'm not belaboring this, but it is the issue. He hasn't gained an ounce, basically, since he's been here. I'm not trying to be, funny about it. It kind of is what it is. Brian brought up hockey. There's a great thing that happened last night in hockey. There was a goalie brawl, a goalie fight. And it was a goalie fight for the ages. Maybe one of the great goalies in the world that the Flyers just gave up on several years ago.
How did the goalies fight? How did they get close enough to where they want to fight each other?
Sergei Bobrovsky. You got to look it up, Bri. He skated. Well, they had a kind of a vicious little thing going on, and Bob skated from one end of the ice to the other and took on the other goalie, pulled his face mask off, and beat the absolute hell out of him. Let's go back to his phones. 865-200-5402. We'll see what happens here with our strength and conditioning coach. I'm open-minded to that being a very good hire. So, John's kind of right about strength and conditioning coaches in that generally you're doing what the head coach wants you to do. That's generally how it goes with strength and conditioning coaches. They're an extension of the head coach, so I don't know. Does Heupel want him to do what Frank wanted him to do? Because he's forever known as Frank around here. All right, here's the deal. I have 200 people watching. I have 139 likes. I got to get over 200 likes if I'm going to justify staying on here today. So hang in with me. Let's go back to the phones, and let's take them as we got them. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hello, Tony.
Hey, Richard, welcome in, buddy.
Oh, man. Beautiful day. Just enjoying the day and the next couple of days before we get to Wintergetting again this weekend, it sounds like, coming in.
Sucks.
So, but, hey, there's a lot of places to go. First of all, Tony, I will say this, since I know you're a hockey fan too, let me tell you something. When I ask my customers would they rather go to an NFL game or an NHL hockey game, they always choose the NHL hockey game. The NHL hockey game, going to the Predators game, Tony, is amazing. It is a wonderful 2 hours of entertainment. And I love watching NHL hockey. Those guys and what they can do on those skates, Tony, with that stick and the puck and just how it's incredible. So,
wow.
Like it.
Wow. It is that those guys look like linebackers out there, as a great Jerry Colquitt told me.
Well,
linebackers on skates.
It is a fun event, and so I like it a lot. Hey, stuck a little bit last night in the game, and what I saw last night in the game, just from an official standpoint, it's the same thing I saw in the Buffalo-Denver game, in the pro game. I watched an officiating crew swallow their flags the entire game pretty much, right? Mm-hmm. They allowed all the mugging on the passing game. Mm-hmm. They allowed our guys from Tennessee to launch his crown of a helmet into Mendoza's chin strap. He should have been ejected right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. He left his feet. Two guys.
Targeting.
Hey, Richard, 2 guys left their feet last night. 2 guys in that football game for either side left their feet. I always thought in the modern game that's going to be called targeting when you launch on somebody.
Yeah. The reason why I was upset is, okay, they let it go, and they knew that they didn't want to kick him out. That's the only reason why they didn't flag him. They didn't want to take him out of the game. Well, then at the last drive, they called the penalty on the Indiana guy. Good. It was a right call, Tony, but if you swallowed the flag against Miami, how could you throw that flag in that one at that moment?
And it almost cost him a game, Richard. That was almost – we would be on here today. That would be the theme, because that would have cost them the game, Richard, if that would have occurred.
Yeah. Oh, that, and of course, the offsides penalty by the tackle, that was strange, but for him to do that. But yeah, I mean, that was the inconsistency. And Tony, it's the same thing that happened in Denver-Buffalo game. If the Denver DB doesn't grab the receiver in the end zone there at the end of the regulation, that's a touchdown. He interfered with him big time, and they swallowed the flag. But then in overtime, they called him on Buffalo. I thought Buffalo got ripped. I'm sorry, but the officiating crew cost Buffalo in the end in that game. They didn't deserve what they got from the officials.
And imagine a head coach getting fired for that, man. Imagine a head coach getting fired for that, Richard.
Well, I don't know what the Buffalo owner was thinking in that one. That guy can coach football.
Oh, he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would have. I guess the Titans were so far already involved with Salas that they didn't want to interview McDermott, but I definitely would have made the phone call. But saying, the Titans, like you said, the hire. The one thing I will have to say, I don't know what kind of head coach 2.0 Salas will be, but the one thing I do know about the guy, Tony, is the guy can coach defense, because if you can take that San Francisco defense that had all your main big-time playmakers out with injuries, and you had to pull guys off of the street to play your secondary, guys you've never heard of, and do what they did, that guy can coach defense.
And you flat out shut down my Philadelphia Eagles with a literally, as Richard's telling you, some guys that were literally going to the UFL. That is no joke. These are free agent type guys. And, I mean, that's a hell of a coaching job by him.
Would they not have been better off getting an offensive coach that could sort of help develop Cam Ward?
It's an interesting point, Bri. A lot of these franchises go offense heavy. Richard, it is a little surprising, isn't it, to see them go this route?
Well, I think it depends on I'm sure they talked with Salas, and he's got a game plan to bring in the right coordinator who can do exactly that, and coach up Cam Ward. So we'll see. I mean, that's why the NFL stands again not for long, man, because it's one of those sports, and it's very difficult to read sometimes. And but it also shows one thing: if you do, I don't care if your head coach is maybe is abusive, runs on the wrong side of the ownership, and always makes them mad. If you got a coach that can actually flat out coach, you better learn to get along with him, because perfect example. I mean, Vrabel for the Titans. I know he ticked off a lot of people in that organization. He was hard to get along with from the GM up. They always were on odds of each other and arguing. But man, if you know the guy can flat out coach, Tony, swallow some pride and keep a coach that can actually coach football.
And he literally has a layup this week. And you never know in that sport. With Josh Stidham, you never know. That's why you play him. But it looks like they have a layup to get to the Super Bowl. And that is so in the face of Amy Adams Drunk and everybody involved. Richard, your thoughts on this strength and conditioning hire? Because I know you know how to value and develop ball players. What do you think of this hire, and how gangsta Tennessee was in doing it?
Well, I think, we know Heupel had a tie to the guy, so he knew him personally from 1 year at UCF. So that helped. From what I understand, the guy understands his trade very well. And I will say this, all strength and conditioning coaches are hired to add strength and size and condition your players, but not all of them are equal at doing it. There are some that get maximum out of their kids in those weight rooms, and there are some that do not. And so if you got a chance to get one who gets results, you go get them. And so for Tennessee to do this, and this guy seems to get results, then yes. And this guy won't be afraid to call out kids. If kids are dogging it, he ain't going to be afraid to call them out. And I think that's sometimes where some of the conditioning coaches are not as good, is they know the guys that are slacking, and some of them are just won't say a word. They'll just let them slack, and they'll let them get by, and they'll push the other guys. You got to have a guy that's on the. To me, that's my strength and conditioning coach has got to be a little oddball, man. I want him being, what's his name from Hogan's? The Clint Eastwood movie, Oddball. You remember the tank guy?
Yeah. Well, here's a good example. I was talking to somebody the other day about the Vitello era, and and is this guy going to be able to get here and do his thing, and how's he going to do, and how's he going to fare? And it's a great question, and who knows? We're all rooting for him. Richard, the subject of Q came up, Tennessee strength coach, and the guy says, he really wasn't well liked internally. And I said to him, hey, listen, if a strength and conditioning coach is really doing their job, chances are they're not going to be liked. He's not there to be your friend.
No,
he's there
absolutely.
to push you past. And the guy said, well, he's kind of irascible, and he's sort of gets on people's nerves, and he has kind of a big ego, and and I said, hey, it's kind of like what you just said. The freaking guy got results. That's all I know. I don't know how he did it, but there is very little question that guy got results when you looked at their baseball players.
Oh, hey, Tony, the biggest mistake that Goober Jones ever made when he was at UT was letting Lawson go as a strength and conditioning coach, because his players complained about how hard he was on them, and he gave it to his assistant, who was easy on them, and we saw the results.
Where is Lawson? Where is Lawson now, Richard? Do you know?
I have no idea. And he's a good man too. He was hard on the kids, but he's an outstanding character.
Used to let you come in there, right? A bunch.
Oh yeah, I loved it, man. I got to go up and watch them, and I got to go up and watch the guy they replaced him with, and like I said, Tony, the kids that I trained at the school I was at in high school worked twice as hard in the strength and conditioning than he worked the kids at UT. And
so you knew, as a Tennessee fan, you knew we're in trouble with this guy. You knew that right away.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely I did. He's sitting there going, well, look, because he was trying all this new this new stretching type of workouts and stuff, and I'm like, okay.
Well, thank you, my friend. Yeah, great talking to you. Yeah, it's a great phone call from Richard Bry. Great phone call.
Richard has very good phone call. He's very underrated caller.
Yeah, I love Richard. Yep. Great phone caller. Yep.
You learn something every time he comes
I love him. I think the man's learned it. I think he's got a great opinion. We spar every once in a while, which, he doesn't take personally. We just kind of, butt heads every once in a while.
His assessment that a lot of clients would rather go to an NHL game, I can certainly understand that choice when the option for the NFL is the Titans.
Go! I mean, let's go! And look, the strength and conditioning coach, job one for him is going to be able to reach down into GMAC and see if he can supersize GMAC.
That's probably why they hired him.
Can he supersize GMAC? Can he, between now and next September, put some real weight, some meat on the bones, so to speak? Because I hear the kid can do everything else.
There's no crystals on the strip, so can't do it that way.
Nope, you got to take that crystal ship, Jim Morrison. Got to take that crystal ship. 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix and in the hunt with us, and we really want to mix hunt with you. And I want to mix hunt. I want to hunt mix with you. I want to mix hunt and hunt mix. Brian, do you like hunt mixing or mix hunting better before we get back to the phones? What speaks more to you? And
I always like to hunt last.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mix first.
I like to mix and then hunt. But if you
hunting, if you do that first, you might actually not be around to mix.
But if you hunt first, you might have more to mix, if you think about it. John Adams was really great today. Let's go back to the phones, and we'll get our next call in. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How my French compatriots doing today?
There he is. What's up, W. Lynn?
Tony, when I was watching that game last night and Mendoza, that quarterback draw, I had a horrible vision that if that was our GMAC doing it, it would look like Joe Theismann's broken bone in 5 different body parts.
I agree with that. If that kid doesn't get bigger, and people say whatever you want to say about me, but I will call it like I see it. And I love I'm rooting for that kid. I know his family members. But you've got to get bigger, man, if you're going to play that game, because here's what's going to happen to you, W. Lynn. They're going to walk out there with, and everybody knows this, it's involved, with a dustpan and a brush, W. Lynn. They'd be sweeping him up off that floor.
Yeah, it'd have been bad.
Yes, because that kid stretched. W. Lynn, what did you think of that play made by that kid in that moment?
That's one of the great moments in college football history.
No doubt, and it happened for the Indiana Hoosiers, W. Lynn.
Yeah, because a lot of quarterbacks would have been tackled after a 2-yard gain.
That's right.
And he just kept going.
That's exactly right. A lot of guys would have been happy with the 2 yards, and that kid said, no, I'm different. I'm going to show you, and we're different, and we're scoring, and we're winning. So get you some of that. Yep.
And, I was thinking of the old convicts versus the Catholics. That was kind of convicts versus the old school, like it was convicts versus the Sugar Vols in a way, way back.
That felt like the Sugar Vols out there, Brian. Did you get that vibe, Brian? That felt like the Sugar Vols, like W. Lynn did last night?
It was weird how Miami sort of has become, I don't know if a lovable underdog is the right word, but they used to be one of these teams that you just rooted against back in that era.
Yeah.
And now, this year, I think it's sort of, they've kind of flipped. Duke basketball has kind of gone the other way. Ohio State football has kind of gone the Duke basketball route, where they used to be an underdog, and then now they're kind of hated. And it's just kind of weird how big bad Miami, we were kind of, a lot of folks were thinking, okay, I kind of would like to see them. I didn't like them back then, but I kind of like to see them win at this time.
Brian, I think it's a great point. I think that's a very interesting way to put it, and I think that's an excellent point by you. I really do. At one point, for the kids listening, there was a time where when Miami walked out there, we all hated them. There was a night where a mid-'90s Alabama team, when George Teague stripped the ball from somebody, I think it was Randall Hill, and he was going into the end zone and went the other way for a touchdown. We were all cheering for Alabama, believe it or not. There was a night.
Yeah.
Right, W. Lynn?
That's true. Back then, I get so sick of them showing that U show on ESPN.
Yup.
Of course, they just skipped the Sugar Bowl. They don't even mention that.
They don't mention the Sugar Bowl in the U. That's right. They leave that out.
But yeah, that Indiana's kind of old school, and that one receiver made 2 catches. It was not a back shoulder catch. It was a back lower abdomen catch.
Yep.
He twisted, got one knee on the ground, and the ball hit him in the stomach twice. I've never seen anything like it. Have you?
W. Lynn, they say that kid all year has like one drop all year. And I can see why. I can see why they threw the ball to him last night, because that is an incredible player. He came from Nashville, where he was like a 0-star player.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get on at a place like Duke, places like that. Nobody would look at the guy. He ends up there with them, and he's going to be a first-round pick in next year's draft, they're saying. Not this draft, but next year's draft.
Well, I don't know about all that, because they got a lot of players that I just kind of look like the Sugar Vols. They're great, great college players, and it's a question mark on the NFL, but that doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want college players.
Mm-hmm.
That kid was a great kid, and you could just look at the Miami
corner, and he was like, "What am I supposed to do? How do you guard that?"
Yep.
You know, there's no way to guard that really, and but it was a breath of fresh air to see that team win. Of course, conspiracy theorists might say that Mark Cuban they didn't spend money on NIL; they implanted AIs in their body parts.
Well, people are saying they've got some kind of advanced scouting, and they've been stealing signals all year. I guess time will tell if that's the case. Who knows? Maybe Mark Cuban cooked something up for him.
But it's funny, Mark Cuban gave Indiana money, and he gave Vanderbilt money, and, you know, one of them went 12-0, one of them went 10-2. It's kind of odd, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Listen, I appreciate you, W. Lynn. That's food for thought right there. Hey, here's the deal. 17 to 24 inches, Bri, is what they're calling for this weekend. They're calling for like 3 feet of snow where I'm from this weekend. Bri, are you for this or against this? This development here?
The amounts they're calling for here.
Yep.
I have to almost see that to believe it. It would be the biggest snowstorm ever. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not messing with it. I'm staying in. I'm getting in Friday, and I'm not leaving until maybe middle of next week.
And you were supposed to go on like a big trip, right? And you guys were like, hey, I'm not.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, how are you going to play with that? I don't listen.
Nope.
I don't play with Mother Nature. I mean, I might play with a caller or two, and I might play with a listener, and I might do a bit on here every once in a while. But I ain't going to play with Mother. In fact, I'm going to get to whittling this afternoon. I got a couple of different salesy things I got to work on, business-wise. And we're working on a couple other things. But one thing I'm not going to do is play with Mother Nature. In my young days, I would have gotten out and driven in that weather and gone here or gone there. No way, man. I'm locking it down. I jump around. I'm just not. I just have zero interest in playing around with that weather this weekend. And personally, I hope it passes by. I know some people cheer for the deal, cheer for the big snowfalls. I'm situated in a spot where we're way up on a high hill here. 2 years ago in January, it snowed. And I remember looking at Laura. We were snowed in for like 7 straight days. And once the snow melted, everything we were able to get up and down a huge hill we're on. Brian will tell you, it's a huge hill. And I said to her, "Where are you going today?" She goes, "Wherever you're not." Right to my face. And I thought, you know what? That's a pretty damn good point by you. She said, a little bit of you goes a long way. Dad trying to crack on me. You couldn't get up and down my hill with a 4-wheel drive car, dude. You got to see it. Brian, tell them how steep it is. It's like a ski resort here where I'm at. You can't get up and down the hill.
You could easily end up on the golf course where there's a very steep embankment.
Cinco had a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
You don't want to mess with.
Cinco had a 4-wheel drive vehicle one day and ended up over on the tee box. That's exactly what happened. Because I told Cinco, I said, it's no problem, bro. Come on. Seymour Joe said it could break the records in Knoxville. That's what they're saying.
And they're calling for ice in the Atlanta area, significant crippling ice. And one thing to worry about is the power outages. That stuff can weigh on the power line.
Yep.
And
I'm telling you, Brian, I'm stocking up on wood. We might need to light our wood stove to stay warm.
Hot Pockets, frozen dinners.
Hot Pockets,
frozen burritos.
TV dinners.
Frozen pizza.
Everybody wants one. TV dinners. That was some really bad.
Maybe I'll cook some spaghetti.
How you go from Trace Hombres to that ZZ's Top, I'll never know. And slip inside my sleeping bag where they were scratching records. How unfortunate. How unfortunate. How unfortunate. But no, Knoxville all-time record is 18.8 inches. How did you know about 18.8 inches? And Andrew Worley says, if what they're talking about happens, it will decimate all the records. I might be out here I might have an hour-long Friday closing list to read. Get your closings into me. Danny White's next excuse is running on time, and his excuse symposium is also running on time, slated for the Anderson Training Center. Yeah, I don't know if that was on the Eliminator album. No, it was at the Eliminator was like 84, wasn't it? Slip Inside My Sleeping Bag is like from 86. That's a terrible song. God, that's awful. Somebody said, am I going to be able to hear you without power? That's a big issue. I'd stock up on 9-volt battery. I'd stock up on 9-volt.
You made a terrible song even worse, Tone. There.
Is there a way to get, how will you be able to charge our stuff without power? Oh, yeah, I could do things. On. So look, if we lose power here, we'll be able to use YouTube and stay with you and keep communicating with you. Playbook Gamer puts we have a school closing in. Joshy Boys Signetti early worship service on Saturday is still on as scheduled. Joshy Boys Frank Signetti early worship service is still on as. Does he do a worship service for Signetti on here, Bri? Or is that a cheap shot?
Well, I think Joshy has not done a service for Frank Signetti yet, but maybe that's coming.
Hello and welcome.
Maybe that'll be the later. Maybe the later services for Frank Signetti.
Hello and welcome into our next call. Yeah, Vols Deep. We looked into Generac. They wanted from us. What they want, Generac. We could get one, but you have to hook a gas line. This would be like a $35,000 ordeal for us. I don't mind Generac, but something's got to power it.
Yep.
Hello and welcome.
What's up, Tony B?
Hey, Roberto, welcome in.
Well, it's funny. I just moved my flight from Saturday to Friday morning, and I'm hoping it holds out, but I'm not supposed to be back till Tuesday next week. And it sounds like I won't be getting back then either.
Wow,
so
where you
heading? Should be real interesting. I got to go to the left coast. Got a conference out in San Diego for 4 days. Take the bride, leave the kids. Should be a good weekend.
That's pretty nice.
I hope.
Nice.
I hope my kids, for their sake, have enough food. I'm just going to leave them by themselves, right? 12-year-old. You think I'd be fine, right?
They can do it.
I've taken to calling King George. A lot of people call him King George. I'm calling him GLP-1 George because he looks like a guy that's been on those Ozempic shots for a while. I just don't see how he can't put on weight, Tony. How do you feel about that?
No, he's going to do it. They're bringing a guy in.
Is this new guy?
That's what this guy does. This guy's the weight adjuster.
I hope so, buddy. Are they literally bringing in? I mean, obviously, I think he's probably the best out there except for Scott Cochran, who's apparently coaching at the University of West Georgia or something.
That's the deal.
You remember that guy that was at Georgia and Alabama?
Scott had all
That's psychopaths coaching Division III.
He had all those drug issues. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll take this guy if he can put on 20 or 25 on the Georgia GLP Georgia, as I'm going to refer to him from now on. I'll be very happy about that. And, I just don't want that kid to get killed. We talked about it last week, and that's my worry. And, these strength and conditioning, have you seen the two yokels this guy's bringing with him, too, all tatted up? Look like they'll just absolutely destroy a buffet, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm for this. And this guy is a known psychopath up in Bloomington. So I think that's what we need. I mean, that's why Indiana won the national championship. I'm not saying because Frank Signetti, as you're calling him, is a great coach, which he is. They were just tougher than everybody they played. And that's set in the strength and conditioning program. Agree?
It's set from the head coach. It's not set from the strength and conditioning program. The strength and conditioning coach does what the head coach wants him to do at all these programs, period, end sentence.
So we're not going to be a tough guy program then? No hope for that?
The head coach is the one that sets the tone for the whole deal. Come on now. You know that.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, well, that's disappointing is where I'm going, because I don't think our head coach is a tough guy. I think these guys are tough guys.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I guess we will. But praying that February 19th cuts our way to, or February 10th cuts our way as well. Joey's probably not coming back, but that'd be a good get. And if this guy turns the football program strength and conditioning around and we don't have 42 torn Achilles like we did under that one guy under Butch, I'll be pretty happy about that at large. And it was the one thing that actually I think the biggest separation other than Tim Banks that needed to happen, we already did with this Schmidt guy. So I'm liking it. And let's go. Let's hopefully go win some basketball games. Hopefully Rick Barnes can hit a reset. Thanks for your time, Tom.
865-200-5402. The thing about strength and conditioning coaches down through the years is, this is just my belief, they do what head coaches want them to do. It's like Richard said earlier, and it's very insightful. So Butch Jones had a hard-ass strength and conditioning coach. Players went to him and complained and cried, and he fired the guy. Why? Because he didn't want to hear the bitching from the players. Nick Saban had a psychopath, Scott Cochran, who built the players into cyborgs, and God knows they were using everything under the sun. Did he fire him? No. Why? Because strength and conditioning coaches do what head coaches want them to do. Did Tony Vitello worry that Q was unpopular among his players when he was getting results? No. No, he did not. These guys do what head coaches want them to do. Obviously, Josh Heupel brought this guy here. He had his experience with him. And the ruffians that travel around with these guys, he does have a good point. They look like refuge. They look like the corner of a UFC fighter. That's what these guys. Those of you that follow the UFC, that's what these guys look like. They're all tatted up. They all look like somebody you wouldn't want to get in you would not want to get in a fight with. And they all look like people that are 5 bricks short of 10. And I got time for it. And as Mark in Colombo is saying, Lieutenant Mark from Colombo, on don't forget about the deer antler spray. We're the deer in the antler spray, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the steroids they flow all day. What song is that? What song is that, Bri? Where seldom is heard a discouraging word.
I'm not sure.
And the deer and the antelope play. Oh, give me a home where the police do not roam, and the chargers and money flow all day. Where seldom is taken a discouraging drug test, and the deer and the antler spray. Home, home with a tide. Before we go back to our phones, I want to remind you tonight, if you're fired up, focused, and prepared for tonight's card in your sports world, if you'd have taken my advice and taken Miami in the points last night, you would have cashed a ticket. But you would have missed on my Flyers on the left coast against the Vegas Golden Knights. That came from out of nowhere. But you can go claim your VIP play welcome bonus right now. Bet $20, get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and your phrase that pays is TN Tony. And Ladies and Germs, live always with 200 plus leagues. Numerous bet types, props, options, they got it. You got a bet in mind? Can't find it where you play? Come over and see VIP play and play at VIP play. Because it's a compliant event bet type in the state of Tennessee, will make it for you. Because that's why everybody, big or small, we serve them all. VIP play If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over. Located in a great state of Tennessee to place a bet. We go back to our phones. Let's see here. Jim Robb says the Basilio School of 200 likes on a 21-hour delay. Let me see here, Jim Robb. I have 200 people in the room right now, and I'm stuck on 180 likes. All right, that's it. Jim Robb's right. Bryce, should we get our last 2 calls in, or should we just get out of here? We're stuck at 180 likes. What do you think, Bry? Should we punish people for not complying, Bry?
I don't want to be saying you just got to take one more call. That's really punishing people when you say that. So
hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I did like it, so I'm one of the 188.
There you go. Thank you, brother. Love you.
I do like it. I don't know
why
other people don't. It's not that hard, and it gets in the algae rhythm.
Yeah, people don't understand that it's very selfish to not hit that like button, but if you all want to be takers and be selfish, go for it.
Yep. Hey, I guess you never know. I mean, I think if the weather comes from the south, it tends to be a little bit worse. But the first time that these local news weather guys get a big weather storm right will probably be the next time will probably be the first time. But we are down in the valley, so you can't really play with it. You just never know. So, but I'm not thinking it's going to be too bad.
You have no idea, do you? We have no idea.
No, you don't. And like Brian, I guess going on a trip, I mean, you can't just say, hey, it's not, because then if it is, you're stuck.
That's right. And if you get stuck in an airport, as I've been,
oh, man,
there's nothing worse than that, dude. Nothing worse.
That's kind of like being stuck in the decade of dysfunction around here.
Amen,
10
brother.
years ago.
Amen, brother.
All you can do is drink airport beer.
That's it.
In that scenario.
$16 a glass. But anyway, I was calling about a guy called in yesterday's show. I think you said you liked his daughter. I think she goes to Kentucky. She's a Kentucky fan, but he's a real nice guy. But he was asking about.
She's Kentucky. She's graduating from Kentucky. Yeah, sweet girl.
Yeah, and he was asking about Mark Pope, if he was a good coach or whatever. And he kind of made a negative Dave comment, that Tennessee basketball be better if they had Grant Williams. He was like, yeah, Kentucky seems like they're better off when they have Calipari or Rick Pitino. And I was like, what? Those are like 2 Hall of Fame coaches. So I was like, maybe they need Pat Riley or John Wooden or Red Auerbach. That might be a little better than Mark Pope, that's never won a tournament game. But that was a little Captain Obvious there.
Well, and the thing I like about the Pope guy, and again, I'm a Tennessee fan, but I'm a fan of college sports, is he keeps college in college sports because he values that opportunity. He's not a mercenary.
Yeah, no, I think he's all right. He's and he loves them. He loves the school or whatever. I wouldn't compare him to Calipari or Pat or the other guy or even Tabby Smith.
No way.
That's just an opportunity. He's just art now kind of.
Sure.
Compared to those guys.
That's why I almost felt sorry for the Kentucky fans the other day because they were on here giving me a hell of a time. And look, y'all suck. It's like, I don't know what to tell y'all, but if you're happy having this basketball team and you want to call in and talk trash because you've won 6 out of 7, and since 2018 you haven't been to the Elite 8, I mean, more power to you. I didn't do it.
Yeah, they're terrible at it. They're like, hey, Tony, I live up on the border, and my friends really like Kentucky or whatever, but, you could smell them a mile away.
Oh, they're breathing heavy, and they're, they're doing whatever it is they do, and, I'm just sitting here going, what in the world, What in the world?
The only other thing was, you were talking to Steve yesterday, and you said, it wouldn't take long for him to find things, that might, he might think you get on our nerves or whatever, which he couldn't, and I can't. But I'd say Ricky Nelson's parents might be. They could probably just go back to you saying that their son was freebasing and it blew up the plane. I Googled that, and I don't think that's quite true or whatever.
It's not true?
No, I think it was a big rumor, but it never was proven. But that doesn't mean it did. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
No,
but I was like, what?
I just remembered when that happened, and that's kind of what I remembered. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So you're saying that
it was out there. I've never heard. The only reason because I have some family in Gunnersville, Alabama, and apparently he flew from there to wherever, and that's when the plane crashed.
Right.
And I was like, I never heard that he was freebasing, and I Googled was he freebasing, and it did say that was a rumor, but the NTSB disqualified it. But that doesn't mean just because they disqualified doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Listen, I'm a music lover, okay, and I've always held that because that happened. Help me, 40 years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago. I wasn't sure, but like I said, I just was like, I never heard that, and but it was heavily rumored, but apparently there was no evidence per se, but maybe it all got blowed up.
Apparently the cabin's pressurized, right? And if you do that in one of those cabins, and apparently the whole freebasing thing was big back then. I don't know if people still do that or not. I'm not much into the drug life, but that stuff never spoke to me. Thank God, getting out of my body. I got a hard enough time staying in my body with anxiety. So getting out of my body never appealed to me as it does some people. But yeah, that's what I always heard. So I'm glad you cleared that up for me. Thank you,
man. I guess if Richard Pryor was still alive, we could get his advice on it. He probably knows about the blowing up.
Back in the day, man, the needle in the spoon and the damage done and the lighter and everything else. You're right, man.
Yep. All right. Well, go Vols.
Go Vols to you. Great phone call. Yeah, I just always thought that was the deal. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to speak ill of Ricky Nelson because I was talking about in the context of Garden Party, the song, which is just a great, great song. I mean, that's a great song because he didn't live up to their expectations, It's like, Ricky, get out there and be little Ricky Nelson. He's like, nah, I'm going to sing my country rock songs now. This is a new me. You take it, you leave it, you boo me. It's kind of like Dylan when he went electric and they started booing him and throwing stuff at him, and he was like, I don't care. I'm gonna be Bob Dylan. And then he made other people mad when he went through his Christian period. And then after he went through his Christian music period, he made other people mad because he got out of that. And it's like, hey man, I'm gonna do my thing here, and you're either gonna like it or not. But I'm gonna have the guts to be me, which I appreciate, by the way. Bri, any final thoughts for us? Cinco will be on with us tomorrow. We'll have Coach Watson here, Coach Watson Brown tomorrow as well.
I got a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise, but the Cajun Cannon, Mike Detillier, will join Friday right after Mike Hughey's done.
Can't wait for that.
So we'll have Mike and Mike
on
Friday.
Yep, we'll do a little college and we'll do a little pro ball with the championship games and the hirings. I can't wait to hear Mike Detillier's thoughts on, will he like the Robert Saleh hire, yes or no, Bri?
I think he'll probably like it to an extent. One more thing I was thinking about with the national championship game, I associate college football with Saturday. Why not just wait 5 more days and have the national championship game Saturday, the night before the NFL conference championship games, and you wouldn't have them conflicting with each other? Have your sport decide its championship on Saturday.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
The NFL decides their sport on a Sunday.
Bryce, send me that in an email tonight. Put like a cogent little paragraph or two together for the blog tomorrow. Because I'm going to tell you something. I think that's well put. I applaud Bry. End the season on a Saturday, not a Monday night. It's weird that the 2 championships were played on concurrent Monday nights. One in Nashville, one in Miami, but both great games. Both those games were great games. Well done, Bry. To the Tennessee basketball team, you're not in action tonight. No Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. And I don't – Mark Griffin laughed earlier when I said this because I'm probably too glib for my own good. I get that. Ask me if I'm going to miss the basketball team tonight. Go ahead and ask me. Hell to the no. Ask me if I'd miss it if they didn't play Saturday after watching them the other day. Let me help you out. Let me help you out with that. That would be a negatory. A negatory. People were asking about my pizza thing. One day I'm going to show you my pizza regimen. I'm going to come down here because I would like to encourage people to do it. I use these low-carb tortillas. And this pizza sauce I found, now it would sell out all around town if I showed you this pizza sauce I found, but it's got hot honey in it. It's like a hot honey pizza sauce. And then I use a 3-cheese blend. And I cook it 350 for 30 minutes, and it crisps it up. Because somebody noticed here, they said, how do you get it so crispy? You know what I might do? I might start doing a cooking show on here. Show you what I eat for breakfast every day.
Another award-winning, thought-provoking,
I think people would really be interested in that.
Edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated.
Don't you think
here
people
at
would really be interested
TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio
seeing what
Show.
I eat and how I eat? Love you, appreciate you.
You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at Tony.